as we always do, with something testable. Test.
John C. Dvorak.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay.
Pro never counts over 2.
But this wasn't a protest. Okay, I do need a little level from you, please.
Yeah?
Yeah, at strength.
God help us if Judy Shelton joins the Fed. Trump's latest unqualified nominee to the Federal Reserve Board must be rejected. Having failed in past attempts to put unqualified ideologues on the Federal Reserve Board, President Trump is giving it another try and is closer to victory than previously.
Okay, that sounds perfect. Okay.
The nominee in question.
Let's see if we can get it in before the Zephyr.
Oh, we got plenty of time.
Oh. I'm ready.
I'm not.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. I need it. Okay. This. Hit it.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Thursday, August 6, 2020. This is your award-winning Gimbo Nation Media Assassination episode 1266.
This is No Agenda.
Sucking the plasma and broadcasting live from Opportunity Zone 33 here in the frontier of Austin, Texas, capital of the Drone Star State. In the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where I'm spending all my time watching YouTube, I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
Why? Do tell, dear man. Why? Why are you watching YouTube?
Because of Jake and Paul and Luke Paul, those guys.
That's fantastic, isn't it? The big parties and his house being raided. Yeah, man, that guy he's got a $7 million house in Calabasas.
And in Calabasas, the $7 million house buys a lot, actually.
And what are we doing mucking around on a podcast, man?
Well,
that guy's got it going on.
We're making thousands.
Well, because of Jake Paul, but also some other incidents that happened over the past couple of days, Los Angeles is taking drastic measures. Here's the mayor, Garcetti.
Recently, we've seen the reports of some large parties and gatherings in flagrant violations of health orders. As our county Department of Public Health said yesterday, and I quote, "The highest risk settings are large in-person gatherings where it is difficult for individuals to remain spaced at least 6 feet apart, and where face coverings are not worn. The consequences of these large parties ripple far beyond just those parties. They ripple throughout our entire community because the virus can quickly and easily spread."
Ooh.
While we have already closed all nightclubs and bars, these large house parties have essentially become nightclubs in the hills. Many times the homes are vacant or used for short-term rentals. And beyond the noise, the traffic, and nuisance, these large parties are unsafe and can cost Angelinos their lives.
Bum, 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 bum.
That is why tonight I am authorizing the city to shut off Los Angeles Department of Water and Power Service in the egregious cases in which houses, businesses, and other venues are hosting unpermitted large gatherings.
Oh, yeah.
Starting on Friday night, if the LAPD responds and verifies that a large gathering is occurring at a property, and we see these properties reoffending time and time again, they will provide notice and initiate the process to request that DWP shut off service within the next 48 hours.
Shut up, slave.
I was a little disappointed in this.
Oh.
Because it seems to me that they're experimenting on the public.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Now, let's see what we can get away with doing. So why can't they just shut it off during the party?
Well, first of all, it's not legal at all for this to happen. The city just can't say, hey, we're going to turn off your electricity and your water. It's a threat, and I think it's an empty threat, but it's a threat nonetheless. They have no legal right to do this.
So you're going to sue them after they turn your power off?
If they do it here, I will.
And then what?
I'll be rich.
No, you won't. That's a good one.
But people are getting pissed off everywhere. And we're seeing very little of it here in the United States. Very little of the protests.
Around the world.
Around the world.
We're the most tolerant, which is kind of amazing.
It is interesting.
Considering about the structure of the political system and how Trump has got everybody all worked up. You'd think that everyone would be, shaking their fists and throwing rocks and be more violence in the streets. And there is, but it's all, from a bunch of kind of agent provocateurs, the Antifa types and the rest. But the public at large is just putting up with everything.
In the United Kingdom, we had a large protest, which I barely saw any coverage of.
Take off your mask! Take off your mask! Take off your mask! Take off.
I don't believe that it's quite as deadly as our government is leading us all to be. I think it's going to be more to do with the vaccine, and they want everyone to have the vaccine, even though we don't want it, basically. So that's why I'm here, just giving my support.
So we are here exercising our democratic right to assemble. I'm concerned about the way the country's going in terms of mandatory face mask use. Now, this is my body. Okay, I used to be a nurse, a mental health nurse, and one of the things we learned as mental health nursing students is that it is considered battery to impulsively put something on a person's body without their consent.
COVID-19 was called COVID-19 because it's 19 years since the last bloody disaster, which was the made-up Twin Tower explosions.
Okay.
COVID actually stands for, look, I can't remember what it is, I've had half a beer, but this is all just a reset button. This is to hurry things up. They want to get Trump off his perch. This is the only way they can do it. They've got to stop those elections. They've got to get the Democrats in. They've got to get old sleepy Joe Biden in. What they're looking to do is get the blacks uprising by these Antifa riots. This Democrat state's bloody melting down at the moment because their councillors are all brown envelopes. They're all paid off. We know it's corrupt around the whole Western nations. Everywhere. The councillors are all paid off. They're all Marxists, all playing the Chinese game because China pays their wages. That's it.
It's a sad day when a half-drunk Brit in the UK can explain what's going on in the US better than most Americans can. But
I guess you get a podcast.
France 24 did a report on the Berlin protest. Could you turn your speakers down just a tad?
They are up.
No, just a little more. So they did a report on the Berlin protest. I decided to pick it apart, and I'm going to play the little sound bites first. It's just 2 quotes, and I'll translate on the fly. It's not that hard to understand. And then I'll play the report that they put together that included these quoets.
Unsere Forderung ist zurück zur Demokratie.
We want our democracy back.
Gesetzen, die uns einengen, weg mit der Maske.
We've got to stop with the masks. They treat you like slaves. The masks makes us slaves. Next one.
Wir sind heute hier, weil auf der ganzen Welt nur noch wenige Wissenschaftler, die regierungstreu berichten, gehört werden. Es gibt Tausende Wissenschaftler, Ärzte weltweit, die werden nicht gehört, die werden mundtot gemacht, die werden zensiert oder als Verschwörungstheoretiker diskreditiert, obwohl sie ganze Universitäten geleitet haben. Dagegen protestiere ich. Ich möchte den Konsens, der früher möglich war und jetzt nicht mehr erlaubt zu sein scheint.
Thousands of doctors around the world disagree. Thousands, universities, everyone's being shut up, and that's why I'm protesting, he says. I just can't take it. Here is the report from France 24, who saw a little different situation.
Dubbed a Day of Freedom, thousands gathered in Berlin to denounce antivirus restrictions imposed by the government. With few masks in sight, a dense crowd of around 15,000 people marched to the Brandenburg Gate.
15,000.
Many attending say the government is violating their rights. In addition to ordinary people upset over what they see as government overreach, the crowd contained a mix from the far right, as well as those conspiracy theorists who believe the coronavirus pandemic is a hoax. Berlin's police force says it's launched legal action against the protest organizers for failing to respect social distancing and hygiene regulations. A smaller group calling themselves Grandmothers Against the Extreme Right held a counter demonstration. The rally comes as the government warns against an uptick in new infections. Despite an easing of lockdown measures, social distancing rules remain in effect, as does a requirement to wear masks in shops and on public transport.
And this is happening throughout Europe, throughout the world. Second wave, be quiet, lockdown, get in your home, masks everywhere. I think I mentioned that Rotterdam all of a sudden was a no-go zone for the entire country of the Netherlands, where my daughter lives in Rotterdam. You know, what it turns out what happened was there was one nursing home that had a number of cases, including some of the personnel, and instead of telling the country that, they said, "Oh, don't go to Rotterdam, it's spiking, it's out of control." You know, so people are losing faith. The messaging is just not working anymore. And
well, at some point, you know, I had I had some of these clips a couple of shows ago because it was starting then. Here's the Zephyr. Here we go. Ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, stable.
So it's as steady as she goes.
Steady as she goes, stable. Bitcoin, 11,868. Okay.
Now, the problem is this is there's no evidence of what they're telling us about the second surge, and because people are out floating around and they're out here, they're wearing masks and they're doing, the best they can with the social distancing, even though I don't see much of that really, except when they're standing in line. But it's at the point where it just doesn't make any sense. And they can say what they want. They can complain about all these cases, but then you get too much feedback now because people are getting sick of it. And they're counting the cold because it's a coronavirus and that's a positive. There's a lot of bad reports. The Florida thing, I think, is what broke the camel's back when they were coming back with 100% positive results, and that turned out to be a total scam. Yeah. And it's one thing after another, and it builds up. The Americans are the most tolerant around the world because I've noticed this too, especially, every country, Spain has got this thing, they're having protests about the lockdown. Portugal, I think, might be. I'm not sure. I don't have any reports from there, but I know Spain for sure, France for sure. Everybody except us.
Well, we had our very peaceful gatherings, which were billed as white supremacists, KKK, Nazis with guns, scary. So we didn't even know it was a protest. It's like, okay, protest. That's Black Lives Matter. Now that's a protest. But now, one of the two countries we said were the smartest in the world, they got nothing. Look how good they are. Australia and New Zealand. Australia locked down access to the entire country, apparently, and they were a shining light. And you'll remember Maurice de Holmes, the top dog, he said, we'll see in their wintertime, we're going to see this thing pop up because it behaves just like the flu. It's winter now in Australia. And lo and behold, they've got cases. However, it's only 7 cases, and the lockdown is extreme in Victoria, the state of Victoria, which includes Melbourne. And I have 2 clips. One from Katie Hopkins, who gives us the details of what you're not allowed to do for the next 6 weeks.
You mean Katie Hopkins, the woman that was banned from Twitter?
Yep, that's the one.
For giving these sorts of reports, she was banned from Twitter?
Yes, I'm lucky to have a copy of this report. It is disappearing slowly.
I wanted to bring you an update on the madness that is setting in Melbourne. Melbourne in Australia is now under the most draconian lockdown I think we've seen anywhere since Corona and the nonsense around Corona began. They have just introduced measures for 6 weeks, which will be the most stringent and make effectively Australian people prisoners in their own home. There will be a curfew between the hours of 8 p.m. and 5 a.m. You're not allowed to go further than 5 kilometres from your own home. You're only allowed out for an hour a day. You are not allowed to go to the supermarket in twos. You are not allowed to go to work. All schools are going to be shut. All childcare are going to be shut. You are not allowed to have visitors to your home, and you're not allowed to go to someone's home unless you are specifically giving or receiving care. You have to stay within your main place of residence. You're not allowed to get out of Melbourne and go somewhere else. They intend to shut all businesses, all services, all warehouses, all construction.
Wow.
Everything is going to go. And the reason for this, or the reason being given for this, is because of 7 deaths in a 24-hour period. Now let's have a look at those deaths and the numbers behind them. 3 of the individuals that died were over the age of 70. 2 of the individuals that died with or from corona were over the age of 80, and 2 were over the age of 90. So 70-year-olds, 80-year-olds and 90-year-olds dying with or from corona. So maybe they had pre-existing conditions, they were 90 years old and they died, but corona was in their system. They're counted as a corona death, and they're the reason that Melbourne is now making an entire state prisoners in their own home.
I say, wow.
I say there's a reason for the gun laws.
Yeah, well, those got taken away. Everyone's guns went away.
Yeah, so they can't really. This 5 kilometer thing there is they say you can go out for groceries. One person only from the family can go out, but you can't go further than 5 kilometers. So if you don't have a grocery store within 5 kilometers of your house, what are you supposed to do? Just starve to death?
You're eating dingo. Now, I'll give them one possible pass for this. Australia has been very anti-China. They've been ragging on China. They've kicked Chinese out. They're rooting around. There's investigations. If, going back to the origins of the pandemic, if indeed there is a strain L and a strain S, such as we saw in northern Italy and in New York, then there's every reason out of real warfare to be cautious. That may be going on. I don't know. We have no evidence of it with
there's no evidence of the strains other than the fact that it's deteriorating. This should be if the theory that I prefer, which is that this was developed in the lab and it's a chimera that is combined, 2 viruses combined, that is deteriorating back to its original form of the common cold, then it should be weakened by now, and it shouldn't kill more than a few people in Australia. And there would probably be 70 or 80 or 90.
Yeah, well, that's what's happening, and of course, we don't really even know what these people died of. I mean, the data is so incomplete. But luckily, Sky News in Australia, one of the main evening news guys or opinion guys, I guess like a Fox News, did have some comparisons to previous situations like this in the world.
There's so much to digest on the pandemic today. First, the Prime Minister has revealed that hopes for the economy to bounce back in this quarter have now been trashed by the Victorian lockdown. Treasury has forecast the economy will shrink for a 3rd quarter in a row as the Victorian strife sucks up to $12 billion from economic activity. And if you want to get a grip on why economic pain is not something nebulous, something abstract, consider the federal government's biggest pandemic announcement today. Millions of extra dollars for mental health services and suicide prevention programs, particularly in Victoria. This recognises the human toll of the severe lockdown. When economies are deliberately put into a coma, it's not some amorphous debate about balance sheets, share markets and bank balances. This is about livelihoods destroyed, jobs lost, investments ruined and futures put in jeopardy. It is terrible. This is a level of government intervention that's hard to contemplate. The Soviet Union couldn't have emulated this kind of detailed economic prescription. Victorians need a permit to go to work. They're not allowed to leave home after 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah. This is very, very odd. I mean, this can't just be about Trump. I mean, it's got to be much more. It's got to be some kind of global control.
Well, global control is definitely on the agenda, but Trump is seen as some sort of really unbelievable threat.
Well, he is. Well,
if he's such a, here's the thing I have to keep saying, because today's clips for me are mostly listening to Joe Biden fumble his way through one interview after another.
Yeah.
But if he's such a threat, why did the Democrats put up Joe Biden?
Yeah, this is so questionable. And you just got to wonder, do they want him to lose? And that's what it seems like. Everything they do makes it look like they want him to lose.
But see, that's your thesis. I'm completely on the opposite side of this.
Okay.
I think they sincerely think he can beat Trump. Maybe so they can say, well, look, we took an idiot like Joe Biden can beat Trump. So this guy was an anomaly. What he represented wasn't important. I mean, that's the only other possibility, because there are smarter people than Joe Biden that could be running. I have a clip. I don't want to go into Joe Biden before we get out of COVID.
Okay. Yeah, I do want to stay in COVID, but you want to go to Joe?
I just want to play this clip from Joe when he was sharp. And this clip is going around, and it's not as though, it's funny, ho, 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 Joe was against gay marriage. But this is from 17 years ago. And this clip to me is not so much about Biden on gay marriage as it is just listening to Biden when he was Biden. I mean, he's not Biden anymore, as far as I'm concerned. I've heard a lot of old Joe Biden stuff, old Joe, and his voice doesn't sound the same. His cadence isn't the same. This reminds me of George Bush when he was governor of Texas. They should play some of those old clips. He was sharp. Then after he became president, they drugged him, and I don't know what happens to you when you get in those offices.
Nothing good.
Nothing good. But listen to this. If you ask somebody who is this, they'd never guess it was Joe Biden. And by the way, he's completely off the rails when it comes to all his ideas. But he's always been wrong about everything. But listen to this.
The president used his radio address yesterday and tomorrow in the Rose Garden to talk about a constitutional amendment to ban gay marriage.
Think about this. The world's going to Hades in a handbasket. We are desperately concerned about the circumstance relating to avian flu. We don't have enough vaccines. We don't have enough police officers. And we're going to debate the next 3 weeks, I'm told, gay marriage, a flag amendment, and God only knows what else. I can't believe the American people can't see through this. We already have a law, the Defense of Marriage Act, where we've all voted, not where I voted and others said, look, marriage is between a man and a woman, and states must respect that. Nobody's violated that law. There's been no challenge to that law. Why do we need a constitutional amendment? Marriage is between a man and a woman. What's the game going on here?
What's the game? Come on, man. Come on, man.
Now it's come on, man. He never used to say that.
There's a very interesting Forbes article someone sent to me that says essentially the following. The swine flu was a hoax. It was created by the CDC on paper, and it goes very deep. And this is an old article. Actually, it's Why the WHO Faked a Pandemic. It's from, let me see when this article was put out. Yeah, February 5th, 2010.
Yeah, we were covering it. We spotted it immediately.
Here, the World Health Organization has suddenly gone from crying, "The sky is falling," like a crackling chicken little, to squealing like a stuck pig. The reason? Charges that the agency deliberately fomented swine flu hysteria. Quote, "The world is going through a real pandemic. The description of it is as fake as is wrong and irresponsible," the agency claims on its website. Wow. It's worth reading because there's so many analogies. And even when I hear some of those other clips, to me, it's like, man, this sounds just like the mid-'80s, sounds just like AIDS. And it's such a deja vu because it's the same people. Fauci,
Do you remember who the head of the HWO was during the swine flu? Where was she? What country was she from?
Oh, that was, what's her name? Ming, Ching, Ping?
She was from China.
Yes. Ming, I thought it was Ming. Wasn't Ming her name?
No, it wasn't Ming. Yeah. It was something else. It's Qin. I think it was Qin.
chin. To come back to Trump being so dangerous, I have 3 clips that really show you. Let's just talk about hydroxychloroquine for a second, because that is not off the table. It's still being discussed. We have the frontline doctors not stopping their promotion of its use amongst other remedies and possible cures. But Peter Navarro, who's isn't he like the fix-it guy inside the White House? Isn't his job?
We're going to have to. This is, I think, a flaw. I think this guy has cropped up as kind of a hit man for one thing or another, and we have not looked into him as a show.
Well, we're going to have to do that.
I think so. It keeps cropping up in the conversation.
Because this little ditty with Aaron Burnett on CNN the other day was just fab.
I mean, it's like pastime for us to have a debate about hydroxychloroquine.
Well, we shouldn't be, but let me just say, first of all, there's many millions of doctors in this country. There's 5 peer-reviewed studies that show it not to be true. There's Dr. Birx, there's Dr. Gerard, really? There's Dr. Fauci.
Hang on.
And to that study particularly, Dr. Fauci said that study is a flawed study. But I need to do this, Peter, because what you're saying is irresponsible.
All right, let me say this to you, okay? And I reach out.
Hold on a second. That's not the job of a journalist. I need to stop you because what you're saying is irresponsible.
That is the CNN approach.
Yeah, but it's not journalism.
No, I don't think it is either, because the idea would be if you're going to try to pull that stunt, you'd have another. She's not an expert. She's not a medical doctor. If she was, I would say, well, this is an interesting thing in journalism, because journalism some time ago, years and years ago, back in the 1800s and right until probably the 50s, the newspapers used to be divided politically, and you'd have different papers like the Press Democrat.
Yeah.
We had one, I think it's the Santa Rosa Press Democrat. You'd have these other papers that were Republicans, and they were Republicans and Democrat papers. And different part, you'd read your paper or you'd read the other one, you wanted to read. Nowadays we got, it's all Democrat papers that just don't tell us.
Although the New York Times has silently dropped their partnership with China Daily. They're no longer including the insert.
They also took a bunch of stuff off the database that you could look up. You can't look it up anymore. It had to do with China. They've been pressured to do this by somebody, or maybe their CIA overlords told them to do it. I have no idea. Or maybe somebody picked up the slack on maybe they're still getting money. I don't know. But the point is that these papers used to be divided like this, and you could get. And then that was the way journalism was done. It was partisan. Mm-hmm. And then they came up with this idea of these journalism schools. No, you've got to be objective. And you have to, you take your opinion out and you represent one side of the story and the other side of the story and a neutral side of the story. Those are the famous 3 quotes. You get somebody who says yes, somebody says no, because then the counter to that was, well, you're going to have somebody defend Hitler? And so there'd be that argument.
It's a favorite. All right, let us continue with Peter Navarro and Aaron Burnett.
Do this, Peter, because what you're saying is irresponsible.
All right, let me say this to you, okay? And I reach out to all your viewers. Scott Adams, you know Scott Adams, right? He's the guy who wrote the Dilbert cartoon. He did a beautiful video, 10-minute video on Twitter. And the thesis of the video is that CNN might be killing thousands because of the way they've treated that. So I would just ask, I'll let Scott Adams' video be my defense on this.
Okay, well, can I just say something? I find that to be offensive because he's a comic strip writer. So for you to say that, okay, so I just want to give you, because I want to be clear. I just said Dr. Fauci, the person that the President of the United States has in charge of testing, Dr. Brett Gerard.
I mean, what is the guy's deal that he's doing that? I mean, he is insulting her. He's saying, oh, by the way, you probably, this guy over here says you might have killed thousands of people. Oh, hold on. I don't hear. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, there we go. I lost you. Sorry.
Oh, it probably irked her to no end that he said that, and it should have been, but I think he meant it. But the point is why is there's this group of people that is so, because we know that there's mixed results here, and we know that the French use it, and most of Africa uses it. Mm-hmm. there's all kinds of, it's not like nobody uses it. In fact, the first clip we played on this show back in February, I think, when you had a clip of the guy, one of the first Hollywood actors who got COVID and was confirmed as COVID, the guy that was on Hawaii Five-0, I think.
Yeah, Jin from Lost. Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
He talked about how he went to the doctor and they gave him the cocktail, the hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah.
And that was in one of our absolute first clips. And then all of a sudden, this thing becomes a big controversy when it shouldn't be. And why has it become partisan by that? And not Democrat, Republican, but pro and con hydroxychloroquine.
Well,
and why is Aaron pushing the narrative that it sucks?
I can answer this for you, or at least I have a clip that can answer it for us.
You have clips?
I do have a clip, but let's first go to Dr. Urso. He's one of the doctors from Frontline Doctors who are still out there, and this video is not taken off of YouTube. He's going to address very briefly how safe hydroxychloroquine is for so many different ailments, that his point being it's ridiculous to speak about the safety of it anymore.
This is one of the safest drugs I've ever seen, ever. I hate to do this, but I mean, I've got study after study. Helps in diabetes, all right? Helps lower the hemoglobin A1C. Approved in diabetes, actually in India. Improves obesity and insulin resistance. Again, improves the lipid profile, the largest meta-analysis ever done. Decreases antiphospholipid syndrome, decreases thromboses. So this drug is not only safe, it's actually good for you in many instances by lowering your sugar levels, by lowering your lipid profile, by stopping thrombosis, and it's actually protective against accelerated atherosclerosis. It actually decreased cardiovascular events. That means heart attacks. It actually inhibits autophagy in metastatic colorectal cancer. So the inhibition of autophagy is another factor for the drug. It's an amazing drug. If I ever get stuck on a desert island, the drug I want is hydroxychloroquine. Actually helps in MS. So it's amazing. I'm going to stop because I literally have like 15 more. All right. The point is, this drug is not only is it safe, it's good for you in many instances for the major things that hurt us in this world. Cardiovascular disease, strokes, thrombotic events. I don't need to say any more about it. This is an amazing drug. We need to move on past the safety issue.
Apparently it also is very effective at shrinking your amygdala. And we should be popping it like Flintstone vitamins every morning.
Jeez.
But
yes, this is at issue.
Dr. Simone Gold, who is kind of the front person of this group, she was asked specifically about the hydroxychloroquine issue, and I think we're all in agreement that clearly a generic medicine that's very cheap is not behooving the pharmaceutical industry. It's not behooving anybody because they want to charge lots of money. That's just our allegations from looking at data. But here's a doctor, and she is a medical doctor, who adds one little thing to it that I didn't know.
So it's so incredibly bizarre and unique that no matter what you think, you have to at least notice that. This has never happened before, that an FDA-approved medication for 65 years, widely available, on the WHO's list of essential medications that all countries must have for all time. It was a derivative of quinine, which is found in tree barks, the most non-controversial of drugs. All of a sudden, governors and state pharmacy boards and state medical boards and the government really cares about this drug. It's so clear that it's safe. There's no debate whatsoever. The only debate that ever existed if it worked, and that's absolutely been settled. The science is very clear that it works. So you have to say to yourself, if you knock out the best early contender, the drug that will work early in the disease, the people that benefit are the people that offer products relating to other stages, like late disease. So that would be remdesivir, Gilead. It would be vaccines, right? By the way, you cannot do an emergency use authorization for, vaccines, for example, if there's another available medication. That's an interesting little point of law. You can't go quickly through the process if there's another treatment. So I know that if hydroxychloroquine was on label, the options to move other drugs to the front of the line as an emergency cease to exist.
This I didn't know. Apparently there's a rule that if there is something that can help against whatever it is, that slows down the amazingly fast process for vaccines, and by suppressing the early therapeutic, they make $3,000 per treatment a little bit later on when you're all messed up and you're in the hospital. That's when they give you the remdesivir. That's real. If this is true, that's really, really, really disgusting.
Well, I don't know why it wouldn't be true. Why would, I mean, unless she's just a blatant liar, which seems unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
It probably is true, and that would account for the billions going into these different vaccine tests, which I think is the biggest.
Well, not just the test. We're pre-ordering. We're pre-ordering.
Yeah, pre-ordering because you can't take a chance.
We just bought $500 million from Johnson & Johnson for their vaccine. Which
this is the biggest. This could be the biggest pharmaceutical scam in the history of the world.
Well, that's what they said about AIDS, and I'm sure there'll be another one after this until these people are all dead or exposed.
Well, yeah, but even with AIDS, we haven't seen the kinds of billions going out the door for unproven product.
No, that was a test run on a specific segment. But the fear and the way, and I mean, I can go way deep into HIV and AIDS, but but you do see the same people, and it's a lot of the same talk, and we still don't have a vaccine for AIDS or HIV. We have PrEP, which is made by Gilead, by the way. PrEP is and you take the pill every day, and then you may be HIV positive, but you basically are undetectable. So some kind of magic Gilead medicine. So be on the lookout for those guys. They know what they're doing. Based on the no agenda logic, this was signaled as something other than it appears to be right from the get-go, and there's a new montage of video circling around. Multiple people sent it to me. Sadly, the audio is not the best, but once and this is going back to the beginning of the so-called pandemic, listen to these news clips.
As of today, and I say as of today at this hour, we have 33 confirmed positive tests for the virus.
Yesterday we had 22 cases. Today we have 33 cases, so it's gone up by 11. That brings, those are 11 new cases. 22 goes to 33.
As we sort through this here in Arkansas, today we have 33 confirmed positive cases in Arkansas.
As of today, we have 33 confirmed cases with Boston residents. We expect those numbers to climb.
As of this afternoon, we have 33 Pennsylvanians who have tested positive for COVID-19.
So as of this morning, there were 33 confirmed cases in North Carolina.
To you, lots to get to tonight. I'm Leon Hendricks. We want to start with new information into our newsroom. Within the past couple of hours, there are now 33 confirmed cases of the coronavirus in Michigan.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us for the news at 6. I'm Richard Garrett. Karina Corral has the night off. More cases of the coronavirus were confirmed today in San Luis Obispo County, bringing the total number now to 33.
Right now, Georgia is reporting a total of 99 cases in 19 counties. That is 33 new cases from just yesterday.
Good afternoon, I'm Karen Swenson. More cases and more events affected. Here is the latest coronavirus news. There are now 33 cases in Louisiana. As expected. The number of cases of COVID-19 jumps. A total of 33 people in our state have been tested and are confirmed to have the coronavirus.
Day 4 of the shelter-at-home order brought 6 new confirmed cases of the coronavirus to San Luis Obispo County, bringing the total number to 33.
All troopers will be professional, polite, and will treat everyone with dignity and respect.
These latest steps as the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Rhode Island jumps by 33 overnight.
I mean, come on. We knew it from the beginning.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. But also, people are so underinformed, and as we know, many are over-socialized as well, that all it takes is a headline for people to go nuts without reading the article. And I will give you my example du jour. my arch nemesis, Richard Marx, he tweeted out a story from the New York Times. CDC warns of the dangers of drinking hand sanitizer after fatal poisonings. So Richard Marx says, "Congrats, America. We're not only leading the world in COVID, we've got the market cornered on stunningly dumbest MFing stupid effing Fs in the history of F ever and the president ever." Substitute F for your favorite F word. And so this was immediately viral. People like, "Oh, that stupid idiot. He said you couldn't drink it." If you read the article, it was not immediately clear, it says halfway down, if any of the people who were poisoned drank the hand sanitizer for its disinfectant properties. The CDC said most of the adults had consumed it for its alcohol content. So instead of going all apeshit about the president, this is a very dire situation. People are so hard up that they're drinking hand sanitizer. But no, it has to be orange man.
That's what I can say, and just go straight to the Tito's.
You can use it for everything. It's a floor wax and a dessert topping. Tito's is the way to go. It's just amazing. Amazing. Let me see if I got anything else here. Airborne. It seems like airborne is definitely a possibility. Everyone's kind of cautious about saying anything honestly. The chief marketing officer of Moderna, he was the favorite of the Fauci's favorite.
Yeah, he'll probably be testifying eventually.
Well, yes, he will, because he sold pretty much all of his shares.
Did he? Yeah. Probably not a bad idea.
No.
Normally, when you do insider trade or you copy insider trades, you'd never copy the sell side, because people just like some taking their money off the table. But
right.
In this case, I'd think about it.
I mean, so the CEO sold off about $21 million worth until the end of June 26th. But those, I think, are just your typical programmatic sales that everyone's aware of. But this guy, the chief marketing officer,
he bailed.
But these are a bunch of pump and dump yahoos in that company. I mean, even the CEO is well known for being kind of a pump and dump guy. He's been around.
Well, this is one of the best pump and dump plays I've seen for a long time.
And here's my main question of the day. Why is Bill Gates allowed to comment on COVID-19 vaccines and treatments, but not the actual medical doctors? You think
it's Bill Gates?
You think that you have at least, a little bit of credit if you have a degree.
You shouldn't be making these sorts of points.
Oh, I'm sorry. What am I thinking? Okay.
Yeah, Bill Gates is more important than an actual MD or a guy who even went to college and finished. He's a college dropout, if you want to be honest about it.
Yeah, no, just factual. Anyway.
And he never went back. Steve Wozniak actually went back and got a degree.
So think about all I have on the COVIDs, other than
I didn't get much on the COVIDs. I was hoping you'd bolster the COVID coverage because it's part of our
42 minutes. I think we did okay.
It's not bad.
I mean,
it's getting to the point where, except for the thing that really we need to pick up the slack on is the protests around the world.
Yeah, we need clips. We need clips from people.
Black Lives Matter cudgel, and they've picked up the banner for let's get back to work. Let's start what are you guys? What kind of governments are these that are trying to enslave all of us by taking all our work away? We're enslaved enough as a wage slave, but now we can't even do that. This is not good.
No, but it appears that the people, you can't hold them down. But as you said in the beginning,
here you can.
Yeah, well, as you said in the beginning, it's so interesting how we, the freest of all, are the most obedient. And are we really, though? I'm looking around Austin. And yes, it's 50%, 60% capacity in certain businesses like restaurants, no bars still, but otherwise, seems like everyone's just kind of working. They go to work. They're on the road.
I'm
there's traffic.
that around here too. It's mostly scofflaws. Instead of protesting, that may be okay. Let's reset this thought of mine.
Okay.
Instead of protesting, no, we want to go back to work. We just go back to work or start up our company underground or do a black market thing.
Yeah.
And we're just because the freeways are packed. I mean, people are doing something. I don't know what they're doing, but we're just essentially just ignoring the whole thing. And that's what's going on, I think, in L.A. I mean, they're freaking out, sure, but they're going to shut off the power. But with just shutting out the power in 48 hours, again, is different than what they might do in Australia, which is not only shut your power off and come over and shoot you.
It's a little easier. A little easier. Yeah. Well, I think the one thing that we'll see a massive change, I hope, is education, especially, the K through 12.
Oh, here's our story locally. First boy who goes back to school reopened gets COVID.
Oh, yeah. No,
2-year-old or 3-year-old. I gotta dig up the stuff they're doing over here in the East Bay. They've got these these preschools. The preschools are horrendous. They have rules. They've got walls. The kids can't touch anybody. They can't be hugged if they hurt themselves. And they're like 3 years old. And parents have got to pick them up if they start crying. You can't touch the kid. You can't do anything. This is nobody's good.
So here's what I think is going to happen. Although right now it's kind of being shrouded under, well, we want our tax money back. Parents are going to self-organize, and they are going to organize homeschooling for small groups of children, whether it's some parents doing it, whether they bring in an educator. It's impossible. This cannot go on. So and I think that we're innovative enough and entrepreneurial enough as a country, as a people, to do that. And especially
it's a group, man. You can't have more than 5 people together.
Especially okay, then we'll do that. We'll do 5 together. Something has to happen. And this is such an elitist conversation they're having on the telescreen. So they have no idea what it's like if you have, if you're like an essential worker and you're in the grocery store, the supermarket, in the Walmart, and your kids can't go to school. It's so arrogant, so wrong, especially the Los Angeles Teachers Union. Yeah, it's the union, but then you need to scab out to defund the police.
They should scab out, and the fact that they won't do anything unless we freedom for Palestine and some of these other defund the police is part of their tactic.
Yeah, otherwise we won't go back. It's disgusting. That is really
that
deplorable.
Union is out of control.
That's deplorable. That is truly deplorable. That's a perfect descriptor for that behavior.
I agree. By the way, since you did before you go on, you did mention Austin.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of interesting because
I have the Windsor Park report.
Oh, okay. Oh, which one?
This is part of a YouTube video, which is just the most horrendous thing you've ever seen. But this is the beginning of it, just a little intro.
Since the beginning of 2020, parts of Windsor Park have been entirely overrun by homeless camps. While many residents have tried to live with the situation, the problems have escalated out of control. We are now regular victims of violence, noise, and obscene levels of trash. Our waterways and yards are filled with fecal matter, syringes, trash, and countless other toxins. The following video is intended to highlight the problems that many of us are dealing with. This was created in August of 2020.
Stop it.
Okay. Yes, this is very sad and somewhat suspicious. The Save Austin Now, which is a nonprofit, and it's backed by some young woman who is also running for city council, who I will certainly support, even though she's not my district. And they had to collect 20,000 signatures for the petition to turn back or to reinstate the ban on homeless camping. So they delivered 24,000 signatures, and after scrutiny, the clerk's office said, that's not valid. You only had 23,740. So it failed. So there's no petition, which just 19,000. Yeah, 19,734 or something like that. So right under the 20,000 threshold that they needed. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. It's all along Riverside. Anywhere there's woods, where there's construction, there's people around that. It's a mess. Downtown Austin, interestingly enough, because I'm there once a week at least for my spin class, there's nothing but good citizens wearing masks in 100-degree heat. There's nothing. It's dead. Downtown Austin is just over right now. It's very sad. And the mayor did his state of the city, and it was all doom and gloom. We're still in stage 4. I'm trying to think if I had that. There was a pretty funny article about it.
Well, this situation that's in this YouTube video, people might want to look it up, is really pretty pathetic. It's very
horrible.
Seattle's got a similar kind of an area. San Francisco's kind of a little more spread out. Oakland is a little more like it. They've taken over a couple of parks in Oakland, and under Berkeley, under the freeway, there's a number of encampments that are just piling high with trash.
I mean, ever since South by Southwest is canceled, Austin City Limits is canceled, the only thing we're really known for, besides Keep Austin Weird, is the live music capital of the world, which is complete horse crap. Nashville beats us easily.
Well, and Memphis.
Yes.
I've been to both Memphis and Nashville, and Memphis being the black version of Nashville. Yeah. Memphis is unbelievable. Yeah.
It's just, we might as well just change our slogan to the capital of free camping. Because the music part is just over. I probably should call Joe and tell him not to move here. No good, Joe. Stay away. California's much better. It's the place for you, man. It's the way to go. Let's talk briefly about Beirut. The explosion, which was what a beauty, man! What an explosion! The way it was just crazy.
There's a lot of interesting comments about this. Now, the explosion was gorgeous,
and we say that not because, of course, people died. It's horrible, but I've never seen that. I'm
not meaning it in that way. I mean as a art work, or as something to see or to behold. That thing was, in fact, and the concussion cloud and the concussion wave that I'm watching, when I first started watching this, I'm watching this guy. The guy's got the thing, it blows up, and then he gets thrown, I guess, a half a mile or something. And I'm thinking, can't you hold the camera still, dude?
No idea,
hold the camera still.
Then
I realized
the shockwave.
The shockwave must, and this was like some of these shots were taken close to a mile away. And you still couldn't hold the camera still. You still got knocked on your ass.
No, it was up to 10 kilometers. Windows were breaking.
Yeah. So every window in Beirut was broken. And I don't have any clips about this. I did promote it in the newsletter. Do you have anything more than
I got a couple.
Because I have some. There's some interesting theories about this.
Okay.
I have to.
All right. I have. They may fit together, but I do have one clip. This would at least explain how the ammonium nitrate, is it fertilizer basically?
Yes. Well, okay. What's this? Okay, play it and we'll talk later.
Too soon to know if this explosion was an accident or an attack. But what we do know about the devastating detonation that has killed more than 100 people and injured thousands of others is staggering. At its core, ammonium nitrate, shipped into Beirut aboard this relatively small Russian-owned cargo vessel, late 2013. The 86-meter MV Rosas was Moldovan flagged, had arrived from the former Soviet Republic of Georgia via Istanbul, loaded with fertilizer, was en route to Mozambique, but ordered into Beirut port for seafaring violations. The cargo, ammonium nitrate fertilizer, is so dangerous, U.S. forces had the Afghan government ban its use in 2010 because it was being used to kill U.S. troops. Once in Beirut port, MV Rousas' owner abandoned the ship and crew. According to the captain, he left us in a knowing, dangerous situation, doomed to hunger. The captain also telling Radio Free Europe MV Rousas was impounded for failure to pay fees. The 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate then shifted to a warehouse.
Now, I don't know very much about this. I do have one theory, but when I saw the blast, it reminded me instantly, as a kid, we used to make small little IEDs, essentially. We were living out in farm country, kind of. And you'd mix, I think, ammonium nitrate with sugar. And when you have those two together, then all of a sudden, this thing is just incredibly, it ignites really quickly. And, we would dip paper in it and dry it, and you have like flash paper. And the whole whiteness and that whole kind of how clean it was reminded me of that kind of an explosion, obviously a much larger scale. But clearly there were two things going on. We didn't see what happened first, which I guess was some form of explosion. I don't think there's any video of that. And then there's all kinds of orange smoke, and I guess that's where initially you saw some flashes. They said it's a firework factory. Before we get into that, I'll just tell you that the pieces of data that I've looked at is that Bibi Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, as far back since 2018, but actually about a week ago at the UN General Assembly, was bitching and moaning about Hezbollah having 28 missile launch sites in Beirut, using Lebanese as human shields. And he had a map, and he's pointing to it, and he says, this has to stop. This cannot continue. And then all of a sudden, we have something that, I don't know, it could have been a missile site. And obviously, Israel's worried because these, what they claim is that the Hezbollah is tuning these missiles in these secret sites so they can actually target down to a 20-meter precision. So for me, it could have easily been that someone tried to blow up one of those sites. That would kind of, for me, sound right, because their rockets are kind of crappy, so it would look more like fireworks. But then this building next door, which apparently Israeli intelligence, in my scenario, didn't know about, that one blew. So that might have been an accident. Other than that, I don't have much.
There's not much to have. That's the theory about Netanyahu in 2018 says and he has a map, and I think that the map he showed was in 2018. I'm not sure. But whatever, he had to point these three places where they weren't missile launch sites, they were missile manufacturing. Or there was some sort of, which would make more sense, because you have a launch site.
Yeah, it was retooling them to make them more accurate.
An explosion like that, this is where you'd have a lot of stuff there that would be flammable. Now, the thing that bothers me is that ammonium nitrate, yes, it will pretty much take anything. Sugar is a good example, but anything that you can get started burning. The Oklahoma City bomber was I think probably less than about a ton or less of a version of what's called an ANFO bomb, which is ammonium nitrate in fuel oil. That's the main way you can make a bomb.
That's a good one, yeah.
And that took out the building in Oklahoma City, the Timothy McVeigh situation, which is interesting.
Amongst other possible things that went on there.
There's a whole bunch of documentaries about that. But that's not the point. The point is that if that was 1 ton, this was 3,000 tons.
Yeah.
And that's a big difference. But to set these ANFO bombs off, you need to mix the things. It has to be mixed. You can't just take ammonium. You get 3,000 tons of ammonium nitrate and you can throw a match in there. It's not going to do anything.
That's the problem I have.
It needs to be mixed with something to make it explosive. It's a oxidizer, a very good one. And if there was a fuel tank there, like a big, gasoline tanks, or a big, and they just pour it out and it mixed with it's possible. But I think there was explosives being manufactured there, and it was a warehouse full of this stuff. And when it went off big. It has to be something like that. It just can't be bags of ammonium nitrate.
That's why I specifically said, I remember you had to mix it with sugar and nothing would happen. It was just fertilizer, basically.
Yeah, it's fertilizer, 16000, I think, or 1600. I had a 100-pound bag of it once that I picked up at, not to make bombs. I picked it up for fertilizer, for the purposes of fertilizer, but I got a bag for, and that wasn't free, but I got it at wholesale from Chevron. It used to be sold in 100-pound bags. And it was cool because you could take, not that I would do this, but I could tell you this. If you can get ammonium nitrate, it's such a powerful fertilizer. You can take you get a little, like a jar of it, or let's say a big can of it, and you can go to somebody's lawn and spell something out that you might want to spell out on their lawn.
Oh, and the grass will grow better than
the grass will grow 10 feet high where you put this stuff.
I'm thinking this is a great No Agenda promotion, the middle of the night.
No Agenda.
Logo, noagendashow.com. I'm just saying.
But since, and that was, I had that bag in the 70s, and I had a basement flood, and the bag turned into one solid crystal of ammonium nitrate, and I just tossed it. But so I was useless. But ever since the 9/11 thing, or I think actually Waco, whatever the case is, you can't buy 100-pound sacks of ammonium nitrate anymore because of the
terrorism.
Can be used.
Yeah, terrorism.
Yeah, it could be used as info bombs are bad.
I do have one additional data point. Who was the biggest user of this port of Beirut, and who had a financial interest in growing its capacity?
China.
Mm-hmm. Part of the Belt and Road. They announced that March last year. Here's the headline. China launches new initiatives to boost ties with Lebanon. So maybe there was like a twofer.
Well, the other thing is, which is they're going to have to come to grips with, is that Lebanon became dependent on the Chinese and others for most of its food and services and everything. They really stopped becoming a country that could grow its own food.
Producer of anything. Yeah, people are hungry.
They basically are 100% importer.
Yeah. And now
they can't. Gone. Now there's their whole that and most of it came through the sea. Mm-hmm. They're screwed.
Yep. Infrastructure.
We're going to have to fly over Lebanon and drop sacks of stuff.
Helicopter money.
Rice.
Helicopter money.
Yeah, helicopter money.
Hey, we'll drop some of those Chinese seeds. Here you go. Yeah, it's pretty horrible though, man. And what I like a lot though is when you see all those videos, and I don't know if it may just be me, but immediately I'm reminded about how westernized so much of the world is, that part too. These are very modern people. No, it's not.
Yeah.
When you think of Lebanon, in my mind, Beirut, yeah, actually it looked just like that after the explosion. That's the Beirut I grew up with. But anyway, it's a problem. We've got China in Beirut. We've got Iran funding Hezbollah. We've got Hezbollah hating Israel. We've got Israel hating everybody else. It's nuts. It's not good.
Well, that was a situation that take a while.
But the bottom line is, you can explode something next to 3,000 tons of ammonium nitrate. It's not going to light it on fire unless there's some other element to it.
It's possible if you had. I mean, I'm sure that some chemists, that's explosives chemists, some people that know about that business, because these accidents happen all the time, and this is a little more than an accident.
Yeah.
But I suppose if you had something burning and it was really super hot, it vaporized the ammonium nitrate and it formed a gaseous cloud that then ignited with whatever else is flammable. It's possible that you can get. But also simultaneously, that just pop. That's just strange.
Well,
strange.
there are no secrets. Only
and then you have this bull crap. Now, I didn't know about the ship and the bull crap. Oh, we got to leave it here. Well, let's put it in this warehouse.
Yeah.
You'd use it for something.
You'd think.
In a warehouse.
You'd think.
And it probably wasn't bagged. It was probably just loose ammonium nitrate, so it could have been just a pile, 3,000-ton pile of,
could have been,
look like sand. It's white, crystalline structure. I don't know.
Meanwhile, no one really seems to be worried in the United States about China except us. Unless, of course, it's about China being hurt by Orange Man Bad to take away their TikTok. Now everyone's pissed off. And this is the ongoing saga which just keeps on delivering to us. Here is a report from Bloomberg.
So certainly I do believe that most tech companies should, or can take a look at this asset. But it is my opinion that Microsoft would be the most viable buyer, given its history of extraordinary performance with its recent acquisitions under Satya Nadella, including LinkedIn and GitHub.
What's the price that you think would be adequate for TikTok, or the U.S. operations, I should say?
Now, before we listen to that, Microsoft is indeed a perfect partner because they are a spy agency. Windows spies on everything. LinkedIn is and they're blatant. You pay for it. You pay to spy on other people.
It's free.
Yeah, but the good spying you need to pay for.
I used to pay for it. And I'll bring this up again. I used to pay for it, but when I downloaded my contact list one day, and they won't give me the email addresses of the contacts on my list, they won't give me the email addresses anymore. I stopped paying for it. What did they up to? They used to always give you the email addresses, but no. Now you can't get the email address. So what good is it? The whole thing's a piece of crap as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly.
It should be
Microsoft is perfect. They will ingest email addresses and you never see them again. This is what they do.
Well, that's what they did. So, but here's the thing. If you're going to say that what she said, which is that Microsoft's a perfect partner because they bought GitHub and LinkedIn, both those products are for professionals. LinkedIn is for business professionals and GitHub is for developers. How does TikTok, a goofball video system no different than Vine was, which everybody bailed out on, why is that a perfect match? She's full of crap.
Okay. Of course, it's not necessarily a perfect match, but I do want to give you my quick analysis of TikTok. TikTok is an improved version of MTV. All they do is they license the music, and instead of having directors and bands make videos, their actual users make the videos. And their algorithm is only meant to entertain you for hours and hours and hours. Very successful. I totally get why people are so passionate about it. I don't care personally what happens, but it's a big deal to a lot of people if TikTok would suddenly go away. And I know that there's companies trying to launch competitive sites. But first of all, how much do you think it would be valued at? Which is where we left off with our Bloomberg report.
You want me to make a guess?
Yeah, I'm asking you to guess, of course.
Well, it's going to be overvalued. Let's start with that premise. What is it worth? I think it's worth probably $50 million.
$50 million?
I'm just telling you.
How about if they have 100 million U.S. users, you know it's worth at least.
Okay, so if it's 100 million users, each user's worth, let's say $10 times 100 million, that's $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
So that really should be it. But no. They're going to value it a lot higher than $1 billion.
And part of that reason is because Trump has created an artificial situation where it's like, okay, if no one buys it, you're out. If someone buys it, we want 30% of the deal, which I think does that fall under his tariff law? Is that how he does that?
I don't know how he's doing it, but it just really, when people say he's the head of the mob, I mean, this is a mob tactic.
Well, he literally says it's like a landlord, It's like if you want to pay rent, you come in. You don't want to pay rent, sorry, you can't come in. It's like I'm like a landlord here, landlord of America.
I'm all for it.
Let's find out the actual value would be.
I think it'll be something north of $25 billion. I mean, it is a distressed forced sale. 25 times sales is a pretty large multiple, but it's not out of the ballpark of where Microsoft has paid in the past, especially if you look at GitHub. And by the way, it harkens back to what Facebook did in 2014 with WhatsApp, throwing down $18 billion on a company pre-monetization.
$25 billion. Not bad. I don't think they'll ever accept it, but it'd be a pretty decent offer. Speaking of the big tech, something very interesting happened. And this caught my ear. Last week we had the big tech CEOs phoning it in for the committee.
I do have one clip I picked up from that I did like.
Let's do it. Let's do that, and then I'll play mine. What you got?
Okay, I got Matt Gaetz, our buddy, who's the Florida, Trump nut.
And he's our buddy all of a sudden? This is new?
Well, he's nobody's buddy, but he's one of the 2 or 3 guys with Jim Jordan. There's a little triad of these tough guys that do go in there and they pull the same stunts that the Democrats do when they start grilling somebody. And I have Gaetz grilling the Google guy on China. It's part of a longer thing, but he does the same old bit they always do. Is instead of the guy letting the guy talk, they cut him off and say, "My time's over. Get out of here." But I like what he had to say, though.
You mentioned earlier in the discussion about China that your engagement in China was very limited, but yet Google has an AI China Center. The Chinese Academy of Sciences has published a paper saying that enhanced the targeting capabilities of China's J-20 fighter aircraft. You collaborate with Chinese universities that take millions upon millions of dollars from the Chinese military. Matter of fact, one of your Googlers, Fifi Lee, while under your employ.
First of all, great name for a disc jockey. Hey, everybody, Fifi Lee on the midday for you.
With Chinese universities that take millions upon millions of dollars from the Chinese military. Matter of fact, one of your Googlers, Fifi Lee, while under your employ, was cited in Chinese state media saying, China is like a sleeping giant. When she wakes, she will tremble the world. The former Secretary of Defense, Mr. Shanahan, said that the lines have been blurred in China between commercial and military application. And as Mr. Buck cited, General Dunford says that your company is directly aiding the Chinese military, and Peter Thiel, who actually serves on Mr. Zuckerberg's board at Facebook, said that Google's activities with China are treasonous. Woo! He accused you of treason. So why would an American company with American values so directly aid the Chinese military, but have ethical concerns about working alongside the U.S. military on Project Maven? And I understand your point about cybersecurity and those things, but Project Maven was a specific way to ensure that our troops are safe on the battlefield. And if you have no problem making the J-20 Chinese fighter more effective in its targeting, why wouldn't you want to make America as effective?
Congressman, with respect, we are not working with the Chinese military. It's absolutely false. I had a chance to meet with General Dunford personally. We have clarified what we do in China compared to our peers. It's very, very limited in nature. Our AI work in China is limited to a handful of people working on open source projects, and happy to share and engage with the office to explain our work in China further.
Gosh, I mean, when the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff says that an American company is directly aiding China, when you have an AI center, when you're working with universities, and when your employees are talking about China trembling the world, it seems to really call into question your commitment to our country and our values. I see my time's expired. I hope we have an additional round, Mr. Chairman.
Wow, that was good. I missed that part. I didn't hear that about that very concrete example. And you know what bothered me is these guys, Zuckerberg, Bezos, Adela, and Cook. They could have come to D.C. What is this virtue signaling? Oh, I got to do it from my so-called office, my spiffy little conference room. They've all got private jets. Why didn't we say, come on, man? Come on, man.
Come on, man.
I just felt that was kind of lame. Well, in October...
Well, one of them decided to stay home. They all decided to stay home.
Yeah, that's what happened. So in October, the face baggers were being grilled about by the Finance Committee, who, as we know, and who we not have heard much from, is now chaired by Maxine Waters-Gravel. Maxine Waters asked Zuckerberg a question which was so out of character for her, was so concise, was such a smart question. And
written.
It's better than that, because now I have the story behind it. Listen to this.
Facebook changes the rules when it can benefit itself. Last year, Facebook banned all cryptocurrency ads on its platform because, and I quote, they are frequently associated with misleading or deceptive promotional practices, quote unquote. Seems fair. Then earlier this year, Facebook rolled back the cryptocurrency ad ban, bought a blockchain company, and announced its own cryptocurrency. So tell us what changed. How did cryptocurrency go from being misleading and deceptive last year and then becomes a means for financial inclusion this year? It seems to me that you shifted your stance because you realize that you can use your size and your users' data to dominate the cryptocurrency market. You change your policy when it benefits you. You reinstated cryptocurrency ads because you had plans to start your own cryptocurrency. So this brings me back to your new policy on political speech.
So, yeah, exactly. You're laughing because I had the same. It's like, wow, this is pretty coherent what she's saying here. That's kind of a good gotcha. You know, you guys banned all advertising of cryptocurrency, and it wasn't just FaceBag. I think they started it. And then, lo and behold, they emerge with Libra, which is completely anti-competitive. So the reason why Maxine Waters asked this question is because it was written for and sent to her by our very own Sir Brian of London, who, if you haven't seen him around on Twitter or No Agenda Social, he's always doing something new and interesting. The reason Brian had her ask this question is because I think by Monday, he and his lawyer partner will be filing a class action suit in Australia's federal court against Facebook, Google, and Twitter for billions for forming the world's largest illegal cartel, which apparently in Australia, there's some laws about this practice that are very strict, and that's why they're filing the suit in Australia. And he said he will keep us up to speed. You can also go to jpbliberty.com. That's for John Perry Barlow, jpbliberty.com for more information. And, John, he said that if we, from time to time, provide an update, when he gets the billions of dollars, he's going to donate us right into our exit strategy.
I'm in.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said, too. This is great.
Well, all we have to do is just do a report as he keeps going. I mean, these guys... the
Daily Mail has a big article.
I think he's right, by the way.
So do I. Absolutely.
This is a totally illegal cartel, and the fact that they put these guys in front of Congress and they can start piecing their answers together as like showing that it's like price fixing. You do that by... to bust people on price fixing. Price fixing was always a huge problem in the United States because the light bulbs were one of the targets. Mm-hmm. And so you'd have all the light bulb makers, Westinghouse, General Electric, they're all the big electric companies. They were all making light bulbs at the time, and they were charging exactly the same price for all of them. Yeah, and they got busted by Congress. Whoops.
Uh-oh. Mic down, podcaster down, Shay's Lounge accident. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got gear here that's not nailed down. So the light bulbs they got them, they busted them for price fixing, and then the light bulb market opened up, and then everybody started making light bulbs, and that was the end of that.
Yeah.
But this problem with price fixing had to be resolved because there's price fixing going on at gas stations, airlines. Mm-hmm. Everybody does, they say, why is the price for and my trip to New York the same as it is on different carriers.
Yeah.
So what they've done, and I knew a guy who started this, they started this newsletter. And it was outside the industry, and it was an independent, and it was supporting. A lot of times you see, well, here's our supporters, and they have all these companies that are sponsoring the newsletter that don't own the newsletter. They just give them money. And the newsletter is the one who sets the prices. And it says, well, here's what everyone's charging. You know,
that's great. That's fantastic.
So instead of United having to go to, what are you guys going to charge for these flights over there? Oh, we're going to charge this much. Okay, we'll charge the same amount. Instead of that, you go to the newsletter and you see what everyone's, and you say, okay, that's the price. We're going to fix that.
That's great.
And so these are all illegal techniques, but they keep getting around them. These guys, these big tech giants, have really never gotten a clue about any of this.
Any collusion?
Collusion. So they can get in trouble.
Here's the headline from the Daily News. Good ink for our night. Cryptocurrency entrepreneurs to sue Google, Facebook, and Twitter in an Australian class action lawsuit they claim could cost the social media giants up to $300 billion. This is good. Cryptocurrency rebels start David and Goliath battle with social media giants. Lawsuit has $600 million worth of claims now. Could grow to $300 billion. Entrepreneurs say tech giants hurt their business by banning crypto advertising. Emerging social media that uses blockchains, a competition threat to tech giants. Lawsuit aims to break the market power of Google, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And there's a picture of him. Our very own Sir Brian of London.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a big deal. Yeah, he needs.
We have the most amazing people producing our show.
I think both Brian and Andrew Hamilton, I think, is the lawyer. They could use some Curry Dvorak consulting advice on dress. Just saying. Just a few things.
I don't have the picture in front of me, but I can just imagine.
Just a few. No, I mean, it's like we just want to make sure that you have the biggest chance of helping us exit this godforsaken industry cleanly.
Puffy shirts are out.
Puffy shirts. I'm very proud of our guys. I think that's great. Way to go, man. Way to go. Everyone's always saying they'll do something, but you guys went ahead and did it. And with that, I'd like to thank you for your courage and say in the morning to you, the man who put the C in 33 cases, John C.
Well, in the morning to you, Mr. Adam Curry. Also in the morning, all ships, the sea, boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, and all the dames and knights out there.
In the morning to the trolls in the troll room. Let's have a troll count. Hands up. We have 1524, more than typical. Fantastic for a Thursday, your second Sunday of the week. And NoAgendaStream.com is where you can listen to Value for Value podcast 24 hours a day. But it doesn't stop there. You can just pop into the troll room and hang out with people, comment on the show, troll each other, troll the live shows. It's a great place. It's free. We love having you there. And while you're there, ask Doug for an invite to NoAgendaSocial.com, our federated social network, which is very high signal to noise. So good, in fact, even John C. Dvorak has been gallivanting around it. You're still enjoying it?
I stopped tweeting. I stopped using Twitter.
Now, do you think that it is because there's no algorithms that you enjoy No Agenda Social better? What is it?
Well, it's like, it's like, I hate to use the term, it's an old term called pissing in the wind. At Twitter, because you don't know. I think when I sent the last newsletter out, I always have it retweeted through the system to Twitter, and I never saw it even show up because I think the cover art, which had a guy, the cover art for that show, and I'm sorry I can't remember the artist's name, but it's pretty funny. It's a good cover art. Guy's kid sitting, the old dunce photo.
Oh yeah.
And the kid's sitting there, instead of saying dunce, it says racist.
There you go.
So I think it was probably offensive to somebody.
That kind of entertainment is freely available. We have no algos. No one gets shut down. No one gets blocked. You, however, of course, have complete control over what you want to do. Again, cost nothing. NoAgendaSocial.com. And then and thank you, Aaroner, by the way, for running that. And thank you, Void Zero, for running the stream, and Bemrose and Darren and everyone who's helping. I'd like to say in the morning to the artist who brought us the fab artwork for episode 1265. We titled that one Ear Trumpet. It stood out immediately to you once I saw it. I also knew that this was the winner for us.
I thought it was a run. Once in a while, I have what I call runaways.
Yeah.
That's a piece that's got so much going on that it's like there's not even anything close.
This was Darren O'Neill. You've heard of him. And Darren
I've heard of him.
Had the Fauci award-winning dinner franks, which are clueless but perfect for grilling. As he was grilled, of course, by Jim Jordan in Congress, and then had all these little bits in there. Net weight, 3.33 pounds, 33% more filler. It made so much sense for the show. It was really quite spectacular. Very, very nice piece. Even had the kind of the folds of the sticker.
Yeah.
Where it flows over the outline of the franks.
I think he had gotten to that art early so he could do the little subtleties that were needed.
Right. Well, the subtleties were worth it, and they worked well. And an incredible amount of value for the show whenever we have fresh album artwork. And if you're a podcaster yourself, you might want to consider this. It gets attention. It reminds people, even if they're subscribed, oh, wait, something happened. It's better than a little flag, a little number that pops up on your icon. No, you open up your app, boom, there it is, right in your face. Thank you very much, Darren O'Neill. NoAgendaArtGenerator.com, where you can participate in supporting the show with your talents. There's a lot of people who submit. It's not an easy task for us to choose. Darren made it a little bit easier this time, but all of that is appreciated, and anyone can enjoy your art. And, of course, some of it shows up on the fine products over at NoAgendaShop.com. And the artists get cut in on the deal, and so do we eventually. So that works out perfectly. Thanks again, Darren. And now let's thank some of our executive producers for episode 1266.
Indeed. Let's start with Anonymous. It's an interesting way to go. 333.34. Hello, Adam and John. He wants Trump aroused, little girl, don't eat me, Joe Biden, Boba Biden, and dealer's choice, Al Sharpton, that's true, and goat karma.
Yeah.
My amazing wife told me I should donate due to the orange COVID-19 death count being at 333. I think we made a point about that earlier, too.
Yep.
I can't think of a better way to get out of this morass of a situation than donating to the best podcast in the universe, according to the Mueller report, and 34 cents for completing my recent trip around the sun. I request a de-douching for my better half, Mandy.
Okay.
The money should go towards her future damehood, and if possible, a de-douching for myself.
Two coming up.
You've been de-douched.
That's for Mandy, and this one's for you.
You've been de-douched.
There you go.
73 is another dude named Ben.
Yes, 73 K5ACC.
No need to read the rest, and we will read it to ourselves.
It was hard to get it aroused, and it is hard to get it aroused, but we got it aroused.
Don't eat me, Bo Jordan. You're scary, so scary.
The GOP infighting is escalating. Politico says Democrats are outright jitty.
That's true. You've got karma.
Surikabad of the Bike Path Gorbel in Lake Forest Park, Washington. 333.34 again. Donation note sent via email. John, unblock me. I've never interacted with you electronically, only card and checks, so have no reason to be blocked. Then he has his email address. I don't remember ever blocking him.
I'd like
to in my email box.
I'd like to offer some advice for everybody. We have become accustomed, when you see an error message, something didn't work, to annoyingly click it away, delete it, get rid of it. It doesn't work. Shit doesn't work. It's amazing. If you receive a rejection notice on email, it is 9 times out of 10 written in plain English what the reason is. In this case, I'm quite sure one of your trigger words, which I have no idea why those are on your email server, but even the word shit will get blocked by your email server if it's the content of the mail. So people, if that comes back to you, and it will say, it'll either give you a code in John's mail server, which I might add has fabulous squirrel mail writing on top of it. John's mail server will spit back and tell you forbidden word. And then it's real. Now, why that is, I don't know. I find that quite restrictive on the freedom of speech, but that's up to him. So that's why.
It's not up to, I don't even do it. It's not the system is set up by the guy who invented squirrel mail, I might add. It's a new guy.
Yeah.
It says Mark Perkel died.
Yeah.
And this guy does not like seeing cuss words within emails. He sees it as some sort of version of spam.
Yeah.
Or stuff that they're just not going to let pass. And it'll get blocked and bounced.
Yeah, but it will tell you why. And if you're on a blocked list,
it tells you very clearly what happened.
Yeah, so please read these things.
Yeah, so I don't know.
It's very annoying when
I don't have it.
That's one of my pet peeves. Like, you got blocked, rejected. I don't know why. Did you read it?
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, Sir Ichabod's note is.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a big karma, no matter what. He deserves it.
You've got karma.
Thank you very much. And let me know if I was right, Sir Ichabod.
Next is Trevor Collette from Sarnia, Ontario, Canada, and he delivered 333.33. We got a lot of 33 threes today.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, refer to the email. And so I just looked up his last name, and I got the email.
Mm-hmm.
And I will open it and read it.
Okay.
In the morning, John and Am, I've been listening to No Agenda for several years, and my brother hit me in the mouth. I need a de-douching.
You got it.
You've been de-douched.
Good de-douche.
The podcast helped keep my amygdala in check and helped me through the countless number of long shifts working as a CNC machinist. I'm also listening to Shapiro, the Seed Man, and several others, and have concluded that yours is indeed the best podcast in the universe.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd say. Yay! I'm also a millennial that keeps subtitles on. Yes, that's a topic of conversation.
But I will confirm that a lot of the mixes that are done make it very difficult to hear the voice channel. Make sure your TV is not set to 5.1.
Dolby for some of this.
Well, it's 5.1. Everyone's encoding for 5.1. And if that's how you encode, then it sometimes doesn't come out so well in the wash when you just have two speakers.
Right. This is true. Unless you have some processing going on, and most TVs don't do much of it.
No, none of it.
I think it's an attention span thing, or maybe my selective hearing.
Yes.
I would like to call two of my brothers as douchebags.
Okay.
Number one, Max Collette. Douchebag. Number two, Zachary Collette. Douchebag. I would like to ask all the listeners of the best podcast in the universe to ask themselves what value they get from it. Going to a movie theater, getting popcorn and pop would easily cost you over $50. It seems as though I was being given signs and have heard the call. 3.3.3. What time is it? 3:33. What is my phone charge at? 33%. How much time left on the microwave? 33 seconds.
You know what to do, and you did it.
He did it. Smart man. For jingle requests, I'd like a Shapiro laugh. This is going to be... I'm sorry, I should have read these earlier. The Shapiro laugh, the Manning whoop 'em with the Constitution. I think you can find that pretty easily. And then the Gregorian donation chant, which is donate, that one. And karma. Thank you for being a super awesome dudes. Love and light.
Okay, I think I have it. And what was after the donation
I'll give
song?
it to you again.
Yeah.
Shapiro laugh, Manning whoop 'em.
Yeah.
And the Gregorian donation chant, donate, or whatever it is. And then karma.
Okay.
Now get out there and whoop Obama's behind.
Oh, it's the slide whistle version. Badass. Nice. What the hell?
Jeez.
Donate to No Agenda. They give us shirts week after week. Donate to No Agenda. It's a show that's really unique. Donate to No Agenda. Listen to John and Adam speak. Donate to No Agenda. Science is turning into a clique.
You've got karma.
You know what's interesting? Whenever we bring that jingle back, inevitably I get new listeners saying, "Hey man, do you know that's the ISIS song?" Yes.
Yes, hello.
And why did you recognize it is the question.
It's funny that someone would notice. I mean, it was originally done as a parody of the ISIS song.
Yeah,
so
because it was catchy.
Because it was catchy, and it is catchy.
It's catchy. Everyone recognizes it as the ISIS song.
Yeah. Okay, we got this is from Edward Tatnall in Indianapolis, Ontario. Another 333.33, and he sent a note, and he's got no jingle request, so I'm going to tell you that. But get your pencil out, because he's got some birthday stuff.
Okay, we can do that.
He writes, apologies for the computer-generated note, but I suspect John would find my handwriting to be in the top 5 illegible submissions. Always good for a laugh, apparently, to some people. In the morning, gents, thanks for your amygdala shrinking podcasts. I have forged ahead in life and living thus. July has proven an awesome month. Among other goings-on, the ongoing COVID house arrest did not keep Hoosier and Keystone state kinfolk from gathering last week in the mountains of Asheville, North Carolina, for the wedding of our number 1 granddaughter, Lauren.
Nice.
Happy to welcome a new generation, Josh, to the family. Trusting Adam's on-the-spot talents, I request a congratulations clip for the happy couple. You can come up with that. Next. Well, I got one for you.
Okay, good. I think we fulfilled the request there. Yeah.
Next, add my lovely bride, Doreen, whose birthday is August 3rd, to the birthday list.
Doreen.
Doreen. Add my deep and loving thanks to her for 33 magical years of marriage.
Nice.
And last, but certainly not least, thanks to you both for the twice-weekly sanity check, M5M deconstruction and infotainment. You have been, for many years, and continue to be, my only trusted source for news.
Oh.
Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And karma or something, or anything?
It's got nothing, but I don't know. Give him a karma because they got a lot of things going on.
You've got karma.
Yeah, sure do. And it's and your bride of 33 years is on the list.
Perfect. Sir Michael of Calgary and Vegas.
Ah, yes.
298.72 becomes executive associate.
Shall I grab this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is 400 Scandinavian dollarettes, 200 Scandinavian from me, and 200 Scandinavian from Ian, who attended the Calgary meetup last weekend.
So he gets bumped up.
Yes, but we have to decide if it's the meetup or him, or it's him and Ian.
Well, the meetup gets bumped up.
Okay. The meetup gets bumped up. Canadian dollarettes, 400 equals $298.72 today. I'm sorry to hear that. My wife and I recently escaped 14 days of government-imposed quarantine after my drive back to Canada from Midland, Texas. Driving back to Texas, the highway signs in Texas said, "Mask up, Texas!" The signs in Colorado shouted, "Masks are required in all public places in Colorado!" Entering Wyoming, there was not a mask.
Barney.
Yeah, pretty good, huh? Entering Wyoming, there was not a mask in sight, and I spotted one mask in Montana. Stopping for fuel in Montana, I saw one CDC poster on the wall, clearly months old, that stated emphatically that masks are not required and people should not be wearing masks in public. The second Calgary meetup was held on Sunday after I was free from quarantine. Black Knight Sir Kelly and Dame Andrea again made the 3-hour drive from their Rocky Mountain house. Wow. Fred made the 2.5-hour drive from Crownsett Pass. Kathy McConnell, who made her first donation on the last show as an executive producer, was in attendance, as were Ian, Devon, Sir Dallas and his lovely wife Tia, and their brand new human resource Nico. All enjoyed almost 6 hours of untriggered conversation in my Calgary backyard with beautiful weather. This is my first donation over the $33.33 a month. I've been donating since 2016. This $200 puts me over the baronet level, so a title change is in order. Sir Michael, Baronet of Calgary and Vegas. We shall make it so at the round table. Job karma be appreciated as I work for a soulless multinational company. Thank you for your courage, Sir Michael of Calgary and Vegas, and thank you for hosting the meetup, and thank you for a great meetup report. And here we, why didn't it work? Here we go.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
Thank y'all. Glad you had a good meetup.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Okay, Sir Donald Borowski, our count of, he's the count of the Fireballs Count of Eastern Washington State, Spokane Valley. Comes in with $246.90 Spokane. Have a note. He sent a note in with a bunch of paperwork on showing that the oil spill cleanup business is a scam. Here's my contribution to 246.90. On the No Agenda Show 1263, John mentioned a recent blood test show that about half of the population has COVID antibodies. This bit of information stimulated the No Agenda lobe of my brain. I expect two things to happen about the same time. One, new COVID cases will level off and then decrease due to natural immunity. Two, large-scale coronavirus vaccinations will begin. This begins the scam. The vaccine makers will take the credit and the money for the decrease in the new COVID cases. The vaccine need not even work. Everyone will be so happy about the pandemic fading away that this pharma scam will pass, almost unnoticed. Cheers, Sir Donald.
Very nice.
So, you might want to give him a, just because he never asked for anything, you might want to give him a karma.
Okay, we got it. Of the goat variety.
You've got karma.
All right, and this next one catches me off guard because there is another email note. Way too many in this show, by the way. I want to mention to people, if you can't find. I mean, when you donate, you're usually sent to a page or a page on PayPal for a note.
Yeah.
And well, you hit cut and paste your note. Cut and paste it. Don't type it in because carriage returns sometimes send the note.
Also, if you're on mobile on PayPal, then you have to scroll up for the box for the note. That's why I think a lot of people miss it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, some of that. But I do not have a copy of his note, so I'm sorry to say.
Okay, well, let me play this squirrel mail.
Oh, yay! This is good. Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard about the special filters that are on the squirrel mail installed for Mr. John C. Dvorak. Yes, he swears by this because he never gets any spam. Of course, he may not get your note either. I mean, it all could go away. It's the only way to do your email according to John C. Dvorak. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the best program in the universe for your email. We know it as the one and only, the best, the one we call
Okay, I think I got the note here.
All right.
Let's see. It was 240. Okay. This did come in, and let me read it. I don't know if I'm supposed to read his name or not. Because
no, it's Sir Silver Dude of the Silver Dolphins.
Okay, we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Greetings, Laurel and Hardy. No jingles, no karma. So good. That's a plus.
Right. Woo!
I write this long note from the edge. It's not a long note, by the way. You don't know what a long note is. I write this long note from the Amtrak Empire Builder returning to Baltimore from Seattle. A long but otherwise enjoyable trip for a friend's wedding. Oh, it sounds like a nice trip. I've never been on the Empire Builder. Amtrak originally had me going east by instead going south to Sacramento on the Zephyr before I headed toward Chicago. Since this added the extra expense and time, I called them and cut it out the extra leg of the trip and received a travel voucher for $242.10. The donation amount, which I'm now passing your way. I'm getting caught up on the latest new episodes while I watch the countryside pass me by, and I can think of no better way to stay informed while I have no internet connectivity. A lot of the Amtrak trains have a lot of connectivity. I don't know if you actually checked. He says black holes. Okay, cellular black holes. I also wanted to let all the producers, dames, and knights know that my band Cyberstrike recently released a 4-song EP called Salvation of the Wicked. It can be found at all the usual streaming sites, and there's a lyric video for one of the songs on our YouTube channel. Search Cyberstrike Band. We hope you like it. Thanks for all both of you do, Sir Silverside.
Hey, I don't know. I'm not quite sure if we should be insulted. This is not the first time people have called us Laurel and Hardy. I mean, they're kind of doofuses.
When somebody, no, they're well-meaning.
Doofuses.
Okay, let's take it from another. No, they're two of the greatest in their business that ever existed.
That's all I needed to hear. Perfect. I was thinking 10-speed and brown shoe, but no, I'll take Laurel and Hardy now. I totally agree.
And it is a fact. We continue. We have a lot of donations at the top end, though not pretty compressed. And they're Sir Brian Tobiason in Gardner, Kansas. Hello, gents.
208 is not only he has a lot of 8s. 208-88.
208-88. You got a lot of 8s. Saturday is not only JC and Mimi's anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
8888. But mine as well.
Ah.
My smoking hot wife and I were married on 888. And as the China is asshole, no, 8s are prosperous. This is true. The license plate 8 and 88 and 888 in Hong Kong literally go on the auction block and sell for millions.
Yeah.
I can attest to that, as we've been very lucky in life and continue to be, with the exception of my mother-in-law's liver cancer.
Yeah.
Can I get an ITM on Espanol for my Latin wife? Donald Trump don't trust China. China is asshole. And an F Cancer Karma. Thank you for your courage, and please continue to deliver the outstanding product, Sir Brian.
Yes, he wanted on Espanol. Let me see. Where do we have this? I know I have it somewhere. No one's asked for that in a long time. Ah, here we go. Hey. Oh, crap. It looks like it broke my system. Uh-oh. What is going on?
The system broke.
This is hold on a second. I got to figure out what's going on here.
Apparently the 888 doesn't help you.
Hold on. Stopping tape for a minute. I don't know what happened, but it's like everything is...
There goes the record.
Yeah, I'm sure. Hold on. Wow. It lost all the colors. Let me see if I can reload this. Ruh-roh. Something wrong.
Too low. Ding dong ow.
I have to quit this program. Let's see if it'll come back. Holy fook. That was very odd. You know, this program I use is a German program. Maybe that's it.
Lieber.
Maybe that's what's going on. Let me see. Okay, so that's back.
Dyson programmer.
Yeah. I just have to load up my clips. And that's a new one I hadn't seen happen yet. I have no idea what it was. But yes, the record is screwed. Okay. Just to check, it was China. It was ITM para mañana. China's asshole full, and then.
Now I got to go back.
Sorry, and I think it was F cancer.
I don't even remember. Here it is. A 2A. No. Well, he never said F cancer, but somebody had cancer. The ITM for my... Okay.
Yeah, China's asshole and an F cancer. There you go.
Oh, yeah, okay, right.
All right.
Cancer.
Are you ready? Here we go. Oh, wait, I should probably start the recording.
Both, don't forget to hit play and record at the same time.
Don't worry, I'm rocking it.
Donald Trump, don't trust China. China is asshole.
Wait, I did it the wrong order. Hold on. Shit.
God.
Yeah, I have to do it this way. Failing, bro. Here we go.
Bro.
Failing, bro. What?
Donald Trump, don't trust.
Okay. Sorry.
Fix it in post.
No, I'm not going to fix it in post. I'm going to fix it in real time. I can do this. Oops, wrong one. Here we go. I'm leaving all this in. All right. Shh.
Donald Trump, don't trust China. China is asshole.
You've got karma.
All right, we got that.
Gregory Seymour's next on the list from Fairfield, Ohio, 20233. Thanks for your killer China and coronavirus coverage of late. You have been great resource during the last few months. I would like to request some jobs karma for my fabulous fiancée, Chelsea, along with her favorite, China is asshole jingle. There goes our
random number theory. Mm-hmm.
Well, that too. Love and light, Gregory.
China is asshole.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
2 millennial listeners finish it off at $200.
Nice.
My great aunt just died this week from old age. Born in 1920, she lived during the Roaring '20s, the Great Depression, got a degree in chemistry and minor in math, served in the Navy during World War II, and continued her service in the military for another 30 years.
Wow.
Due to the COVID scare, she was not allowed to have visitors in the last few months of her life. We could not celebrate her 100th birthday on 7/10 because of all this, and we were hoping to do later on in the year with her. It breaks my heart to see someone who spent her life serving our country forced to be by herself during her last few months on this earth. Please keep up the good work. Hopefully something like this will never happen again with people like you two who persevere and work hard to get the truth out there. Praying for you all. God bless from the 2 millennial listeners.
This is so sad, particularly when you're inundated for a whole day by John Lewis's funeral with everybody bunched together. It's so elitist. I'm very sad to hear this. But we will celebrate. His great-grandmother? Yes. Your great aunt. We will celebrate your great aunt today, and we should do that. Give me the horn, John. And we're going to give you guys a karma.
You've got karma.
It's the No Agenda 21 gun salute. It's our version.
Good enough.
Yes.
As long as that thing holds up. That's our last social executive producer in a pretty good list. And I want to thank each and every one of them for producing the show 1266. And we'll have the second half of the production group later.
And these executive producers and associate executive producers now have these titles bestowed upon them. They are real, just like any other entertainment show business outfit, with the difference that John and I will personally vouch for you, and I have done this. If someone ever questions your producership, and you can obviously display that proudly on your LinkedIn, which means soon it'll also be on your TikTok profile automatically. And thank you all to these top donors, supporters in our Value for Value network, the execs and associate executive producers of No Agenda, episode 1266. Consider us for the Sunday show. We'd love to have you help out. Go to
Dvorak.org/NA.
From Project Maven to the brand new Midday DG Fifi Lee, you're up to speed once again.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Shut up, Slay.
want to do a little Joe Biden for lighten things up?
Why not? Wait, did I have a Biden? Did someone send me a Biden jingle? I was thinking
you had a good Biden thing from the beginning. At the beginning of the show and the pre-show, there's a good Biden rundown.
Yes. What is this? What is this? Maybe this is it. All right, we'll just have to use that one, like Joe Biden. Okay.
All right, well, we already did the gay marriage clip. Let's go on. He got caught on the cover. He did something on Channel 12 somewhere, I think it's in the South. In America, this morning they're releasing the entire AJC, Atlantic Constitution Journal, or Journal Constitution, whatever the name of that paper is down there.
Oh, this was the what Joe said to the journalist.
Yeah, are you high or something? Well, here it is. This is Biden's AJC on cognition.
Okay, here we go.
Mr. Vice President, your opponent in this election, President Trump, has made your mental state a campaign topic. And when asked in June if you'd been tested for cognitive decline, you've responded that you're constantly tested in effect because you're in situations like this on the campaign trail. But please clarify specifically, have you taken a cognitive
No,
test?
I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying before you got in this program, if you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not, what do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you say to President Trump, who brags about his test and makes your mental state an issue for voters?
Well, if he can't figure out the difference between an elephant and a lion, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Did you watch that? Look, come on, man. I know you're trying to goad me, but I mean, I'm so forward looking to have an opportunity to sit with the president or stand with the president in debates. There can be plenty of time. And by the way, as I joke with him, I shouldn't say it. I'm going to say something I probably shouldn't say. Anyway, I am very willing to let the American public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness, and to make a judgment about who I am.
So cringe. It's nothing worse than stumbling over you saying I can do it. And just imagine any other person but this Joe Biden saying to any journalist, but in this case, the journalist had dark skin. If this were Trump,
black guy.
And he said, well, he's not ADOS, he's from Britain, apparently.
Yeah.
And to say, have you have a test for cocaine? Which I'm sure this was top of his mind because he's heard this a lot. Hey, Hunter, did you test for cocaine? And then he mumbles like, "What are you, man, a junkie?" I mean, that could be so stereotypical description. It's just insane that's like, oh well, whatever. It's just Joe. It's just Joe. And then you see, it's like, I mean, the end I think is what really gets me. I just need to hear that one bit again at the very end. Okay. It's sad, sad, sad.
Willing to let the American public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness, and to
choke.
Now I do have some ISOs that came out of that. I want you to play them and consider them for the end of the show.
Okay.
I got one of them says Naiden. Mm-hmm. Go down to Naiden. Why take a test? I think this is good.
We'll never, if we play it, we'll never find it again. Okay.
Why the hell would I take a test?
Okay.
Okay, that's a good one. But the one I think that's the winner is Biden under B. Come on, man.
Yeah, I think that's it's one of his better.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
It's the best one I think I've ever heard him do.
It's yeah. In fact, this is what scared Corn Pop off, I think. This version of Joe saying that. Corn Pop fled.
Come on, man.
Okay. End of show ISO. I think we're good and we're in agreement.
All right. Let's go
I'm going to interject something for you.
Yeah.
Since it's about his cognitive skills, before we move on to any other topic with Joe Biden, Dan Bongino unleashed a bombshell yesterday. Dan Bongino, apparently former Secret Service, FBI agent, hangs out with the Fox people all the time, and here's what he heard.
talking about there. But let me give you a little inside baseball here. I haven't said it in your show before. So I've never let you down with sources before, right? Spygate, the Clinton-Epstein thing we called like 3 and 4 years ago. My sources are pretty much always spot on. I got some information, let's say a few days ago or so. I don't want to nail anybody down, but Biden's in bad shape, Sean. Now, that's not a mystery, but here's the kind of new information. It's not that he's in bad shape. Everybody knows that. It's that his bad shape is getting better on not an arithmetic scale, but on an exponential one. The people around him are seriously concerned. In other words, it's not getting bad on a 2+2 scale. It's getting bad on a 10 times 10 scale. That they're very concerned day by day about him. I'm not kidding. That my sources have never let me down on this. This is real trouble for him. And I say that because that's why I kind of disagree. Geraldo's not wrong. I mean, his analysis about the debates are right, but I think he's wrong because I don't think he knows what I'm hearing. He doesn't. He just heard it for the first time. If he gets on that stage even a few months from now, I think people are really afraid he's not even going to be able to finish the debates with a coherent thought. I mean, I'm not kidding. These sources have never let me down.
But I think Geraldo's right about lowering the bar. Pete, your take.
You know, for someone who says 20 times, my sources have never let me down.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. And what? Because
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
You called Epstein 3 years ago? Oh, okay. So,
yeah, it's just nuts. Exactly. There's a sealed indictments. You might as well put him in the same league as your buddy there.
Well, the sealed indictments, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's, there's not that much of this. They're all pretty short. Except for this. Well, let's skip right to that. We'll play the other ones, but I want to skip to this. A pro-Muslim Biden ad came out. This is scandalous.
Oh, right. This ran on Voice of America. Yeah, I read about it. It
ran on Voice of America, who's not supposed to do political ads. Nobody knows who did. I believe it's one of the millennials that were working there. They decided to run this ad. Mm-hmm. Somebody clipped it immediately. And they took it down as fast as they could because now there's a big scandal at Voice of America. But I'm absolutely convinced it's just another one of those noodle boys.
Inside
that
job.
Said, well, I think we should run this ad, a Muslim noodle boy, perhaps. Mm-hmm. And this is the ad that went out. And it's, why not? There's noodle boys of all faiths.
MNB.
Muslim noodle boy. So the Muslim noodle boy put this ad together. It was never endorsed by Biden, so it's not this. But he did give it did turn me on to I guess he gave a private talk to a Muslim group. Oh. And then the clips for this ad were lifted from that talk where he's encouraging the Muslims to take over the place. So let's play it.
I will end the Muslim ban on day one. Day one. Hadith from the Prophet Muhammad instructs, whomever among you sees a wrong, let him change it with his hand. If he is not able, then with his tongue. If he is not able, then with his heart.
Make no mistake, people. 2020 is our year. Let's dive into it with 2020 vision. We can see clearly that America is fighting for its very soul.
We all come from the same root here in terms of our fundamental basic beliefs. And I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity, for being engaged, for committing to action this November. It matters. Your voice is your vote. Your vote is your voice. Muslim American voices matter. I'll be a president who seeks out and listens to and incorporates the ideas and concerns of Muslim Americans on everyday issues that matter most to our communities. That will include having Muslim American voices as part of my administration.
But getting out to vote, getting our families out to vote, getting our elderly out to vote, getting our masjids out to vote, getting our neighborhoods out to vote. So let's do our part and join the largest Muslim voter mobilization in America, the Million Muslim Votes campaign. Let's roll up our sleeves. Let's make our voices heard. Because we got the means, we got the numbers, and we got the power.
Woo! Oh, yeah. From the streets to City Hall. Rock on! Rock on, and we're going with the cool brother. Nice. Well, I like the song at the end. Whose song is that?
Yeah, Brown Power.
Is that Neil Young? Is he going to sue over that? Over the use of that song?
I don't know. Neil Young do Brown Power?
Of course not. He's just suing again.
Oh, he's suing people.
He's suing Trump again. I also have an ad.
Well, I want to mention a couple things. During that entire thing, there was Arabic all over the place, and I couldn't read it, so I don't know what they were telling us. And also lots of pictures of Omar.
Oh, Ilhan Omar?
She's some sort of representative of the whole
she is.
thing.
CARES. She's with CARES, the Council on American Islamic Relations. She's very tightly integrated with that group.
Yes, she was. You're right. And so I should also mention that instead of quoting the Quran, he mentions the hadiths, which could get you into trouble because the hadiths are, if people don't know, when Muhammad was roaming around, a bunch of guys taking notes on everything he said. And so whatever he said, and some of it was, I would say, was weird, to say the least. They wrote it down, and it became the hadiths, which is a huge list of crazy. And so when you have crazy quotes from the Muslims, you get them from the hadiths. So it's questionable to be pulling from the hadiths, as far as I'm concerned. But we have a lot of people. I think it was Mohammed Hamed that sent us.
Well, someone should take a look and tell us what it says.
Yeah, that would be nice. Anyway, back to the Biden clips.
I have an ad from Joe.
Oh, Joe did it. Okay.
Yeah, it was. Now I don't know if it aired on TV, but it was a wink and a nudge and a chuckle.
Just the Corvette ad.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I cut out all the boring stuff and I just left his talking.
So you didn't not gonna play the ad?
Yeah, it's the ad, but I cut out him driving the car. You know, there's B-roll. There's B-roll of Joe
driving.
Said
all the boring stuff, which would be the entire ad. It's a joke.
I like to drive. I used to think I was a pretty good driver.
Oh, yeah. He's in his 66
I didn't get a chance to
Corvette.
flat shift in the second. I was afraid I'd go through those guys.
He was afraid to flash shift into second. He's driving on his driveway and over-revving the engine. By the way, he starts the engine up. I hope it wasn't cold, because he has no idea what he's doing with that beautiful machine.
Tomorrow morning, we're talking about cars and what car you'd like to see come back.
I love this car. Nothing but incredible memories. Every time I get in, I think of my dad and Bo. God, can my dad drive a car? Oof.
Was his dad a race car driver or something? Something I missed?
I don't know, but he could drive a car. Woof.
Woof.
The thing I like most is the setup right here. And you feel like you're in complete control.
As he's holding onto the steering wheel. It's crazy. You have complete control when you hold on to this thing.
This is just boom. Now, you can stand in the front here. This is iconic industry. How can American-made vehicles no longer be out there? I believe that we can own the 21st century market again by moving to electric vehicles.
And he's sitting in a classic 65 Corvette.
Was that the year? Did you check it?
I think it's 60. Well, it's a 65
it looked
or
like 69 to me.
Oh, it could be a 69.
Electric vehicles.
You're right. I think you're
and
right.
By the way, they tell me, and I'm looking forward, if it's true, to driving one. They're making an electric Corvette and go 200 miles an hour. You think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding. So I'm excited about it.
I don't think a large portion of the base he's going for appreciates that. Yes, we're going electric. We can do it again. Petrol heads and people who work in, I don't know. I think that was risky. Personally, maybe no one saw it. Who cares?
You think I'm joking?
You think you're joking,
guy? Okay.
Okay.
You think I'm joking?
Yeah.
Let's do now. Here's another one from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution on prison reform. This is I'm sorry. It says Biden Ion, I-O-N. Mm-hmm. Play this.
I've been urging for the last 5 years we have to turn the criminal justice system from one that's just pure punishment into rehabilitation. When people serve their time in prison, they should be able to get out and take advantage of what's available. Right now, if you get out of prison, you can't get a Pell Grant if you're ready to go to college or you're ready to go on. Does that make any sense? To not have a prison population when they've served their time, they're able to get jobs, they're able to become different than they were before they went in? So my point is, there's a lot we've learned. But I think that it's important that we make sure that we have decency and honor in the way in which we conduct our politics and conduct policing. And that's what the vast majority of the police organizations that always supported me have thought. There are bad apples in every operation. They should be cut out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the architect of the 1994 crime bill. At least he takes credit for it, or used to.
You know, he jumps around with his topics, and then he says, my point is, and then the point that he says is his point is not the point.
I have an explanation.
My point is we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot. He goes on and on about Pell Grants and all the rest. He says, my point is, because he's lost his train of thought. He says,
yes, he's gone.
When he loses his train of thought, he says, my point is, and then he just says some generality.
I have an explanation that you and I are familiar with. We know that the top of Joe's head has been opened twice in his life. Twice. Here's a quick doctor analysis of what's going on with that.
Let's add these facts. Vice President Biden in 1988 had 2 aneurysms repaired surgically before the most modern techniques came in. Studies have shown that there's up to 50% cognitive impairment long-term following those aneurysm repairs. Also, matter of public record, former Vice President Biden has atrial fibrillation, which is an irregular heartbeat. He's on blood thinners for that. A major study called the Swiss atrial fibrillation study came out about a year ago. Over 1,200 people studied. They found 3% per year, even of people on blood thinners, Sean, ended up having silent strokes. And guess how silent strokes present? They present usually with cognitive impairment, with faltering, with inability to think clearly. That study, guess how the people were tested with that study? One of the major tests they use, and the president got a lot of flack for this, by the way, but he was being very serious about this test, the Montreal Cognitive Assessment Test. That test that the president took is one of the things they used in this study to see if maybe you had a small silent stroke.
I feel bad for the guy,
Come on, man.
It seems to be exactly.
Come on, man.
Seems to be exactly what's going on here.
Yes.
And
well,
back to your question. Back to your question. Like, why? Why? What sense does it make?
Well, that's the big mystery, I guess. So let's go to the last. Now, this is from the Channel 12 presentation, and this was I put WTF in here because there's apparently new information has come to light.
Oh, no. Sorry.
So, yeah, play this out and look for the new information.
Okay. Do you want me to?
We've been able to lead the world not just by the example of our power, but the power of our example. And we step out. If this America first has put us America last. Did you ever think there'd be a situation where you'd have Russians, Chinese, and Iranians patrolling in the Persian Gulf and America being told to stay away? Come on. This is just, we just make it clear. They're a competitor. You play by the rules or we're not going to play with you.
What?
So apparently in the Persian Gulf there are Russians and Chinese and Iranians, and they've told us to stay out, and I guess we did.
I guess we
don't know. Have you heard of this?
No, I haven't heard of this. It's very concerning.
Well, this seems like something the news media should go and check out. I mean, they like this guy so much. Is this new information come to light? Man?
Jeez. I don't know. So 2-week delay for the VP search.
It keeps going and delay. I think they're waiting for him to
die.
I'm not going to say it.
I am.
Well, you just did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think something's very wrong with this. This makes no sense, this process. Now, people are saying swoop in the troll room. No, I don't think it's no Hillary swoop. Who the hell? I mean, it would. I would be blown away if that happens. Still, I doubt it.
It'd be great, but it's not going to happen. No, but what are they going to do? This is the problem.
Doesn't make any sense.
Who else is there? Now, the top of the list right now for VP choices, according to the pundits on the left.
Sorry, she's just swooping up. We spoke her name.
Just shoo her away.
Shoo bird, shoo you.
So the top three are changed, and now Can you take a guess at who they might be?
Karen Bass, Kamala Harris, Twerp Rice.
You got two of them.
Now, I still think if I
wait, let me tell you who they are before you go on.
Well, I was going to add one more name as my replacement because I guess Karen Bass was wrong, and yes. I hope it's wrong. Man, I like Val. What's her face?
Val Demings.
Yeah, I like her.
Ugh.
Yeah. I mean,
Michelle Obama.
Yeah, this is something that now would she really go for the VP? Yeah, I guess she would. What difference would it make? It doesn't matter
what this she's gonna. If you get VP, you get P.
Right.
The more VP stands for more P.
Well,
sorry for the reference.
No. It's because I've heard a lot of rumblings about Michelle Obama. I can't even say that at home. If I say and the keeper will go, "Are you crazy? She got exactly what she wanted. It's perfect. She's got the life." And I say to myself, if the Democrat Party came to me and said, "You need to run for vice president, Michelle," and knowing how the Democrat Party thinks that, the country will die, we will all melt into molten goop if Trump wins, then isn't it incredibly selfish of her not to do it? Not to step up?
I agree. And she would.
Do you think this is now? Are you hearing something? Are you hearing? Do you have the same sources as Bongino? Are they that good that you're hearing this?
they're, yeah. Bongino and me. Boom. Now, I don't like any of these choices personally. I think the twerp is definitely should be a no-go, but they're all saying, well, about the Benghazi thing. Well, that was so long ago, it's ancient history.
Right.
Meanwhile, they're pulling stuff out of the woodwork about Trump from the 1990s, but this is ancient history. Now, she's a twerp, and that's not going to happen. Kamala, we still haven't seen enough pictures of her. She calmed down a little bit. We don't, she's laying low because she looks like a weirdo because of her new face. So that doesn't help. And then Michelle is like, it's kind of an insult to everybody in the Democrat Party who's put a lot of effort in, and she's not next man up, which is the way the party works.
Well, she technically, I think, is next man up, but that's a different story.
Okay, well, I don't know what they're going to do, and if they're planning for Biden to just quit or roll over, I mean, this is, Trump was going to quit too, if you remember. I don't know if that's going to happen, and I don't know whether if they do a debate, it's all over for the Democrats.
Well, this is what is the oddest thing is, we're going 3 debates. Yeah, going to meet 3 times, but it seems kind of up in the air if that'll happen. It makes no sense to me if Biden says I'm not going to debate, or you have to have a fact checker real time. I've heard this. I think it was the Bill Kristol idea. And, then why would anyone vote for Joe? Except for the hypnotized, but has there ever not been a presidential debate in our history that we're aware of?
Well, I guess back in the early days,
I don't know.
1800s.
What, they didn't have debates? They had duels.
Did on and off. I don't think it was like so set in stone like it is now that you have to have a debate.
Well, in this time and age, yes, this is the media age. Of course you have to have a debate now. Absolutely. A mass debate would be good. Anything.
Well, it'll definitely be a mass debate.
Yeah.
OTG going OTG. I'm an OTG kind of guy.
Just wanted to run down a couple of stories.
OTG going OTG. I'm an OTG kind of guy.
The off-the-grid experience is becoming ever more important as you are being hypnotized and tracked by Silicon Valley, which gladly sells your information to everybody, including the government. They don't have to spy on you. You're allowing everyone else to do it for them. And finally, the National Security Agency, the NSA, has issued an actual warning about smartphones and location services. This has been my number one reason for going off the grid, which I'm not, of course. I still have a cell phone. It does text, and it can barely do a web page, maybe email. But if I need to go out, that's all I'm doing. It does have a hotspot so I can connect a device to it if I have to. So the NSA gives a very detailed explanation of how turning off location services is not the same as turning off the GPS, and that even if, in fact, regardless of whether you say I want it off, that apps can still access this on pretty much all platforms, and your Wi-Fi and your Bluetooth. And I'm sure no one will read this. It'll be like, whatever. TikTok. But it's going to be to your detriment if you don't take steps. The 2 cent, this is the OG OTG, the sending a letter for 2 cents. I got a lot of interest in this. A lot of people sent me information that this is indeed completely doable. We talked about that on the last show, if you recall.
Yeah, no, I'm the one who talked about it.
And it's because of essentially the original mission of the Postal Service is to be a safe carriage of information. And the way you can still do it for 2 cents, which is it's printed as 2 cents, and that's why you can still buy a 2 cent stamp, is if you take a couple of steps, you have to first say first class non-domestic without prejudice. There's a couple of things you got to write on it, and you never use a zip code. I've put several links in the zip exempt, in fact, is what you want to say. And then as long as it's under, what is it, half an ounce, I think? Under half an ounce. But each additional half ounce is 2 cents. So you could really send out a lot of stuff quite efficiently, quite cheaply.
Yeah, apparently.
I
sent his donation in with a 2 cent stamp.
Yeah, it's fantastic. You can do it you can add a check in there. It's I just thought that was interesting that it actually is completely true. Photoshop and Adobe. Now, so instead of Silicon Valley trying to fix the broken models of people doing fun stuff on the internet and many of them trying to make money, instead of enabling that, no, we're going to essentially watermark everything you do with every program that ever came out of Silicon Valley. Photoshop users can now try out Adobe's anti-misinformation system. It's coming this year. The Content Authenticity Initiative. So every piece of content is going to have these special watermarks. And I mean, are you kidding me? This is really what people want to spend their time on? Is all of this tagging of content so you don't use it, or I guess maybe if you try to copy it, it'll break, or immediately they come and arrest you. SWAT team outside your house. This is the kind of GIMP, everybody. Use the GIMP. And then the ongoing Owen Benjamin versus Patreon lawsuit. It's really looking quite big. That they're looking at right now, $3.5 million Patreon has to put up in these fees, in the arbitration fees.
It's a funny idea.
Wow, man, it works for a company like that.
I looked into it too.
Yeah, tell me.
And I went and listened to this guy's material. You know, he's kind of one of these. He's a dirty comic.
So the guy who got deplatformed by Patreon.
I think he's funny.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little not as funny as he thinks he is, but he's funny. He's definitely a pro.
Yeah.
And his stuff is off color. It's a little like a racist, if you can say this. This is what people are who know comedy are going to think that I'm nuts to say this, but he's like a racist Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah. That's his hook. He was,
except that
Dice was misogynistic.
He mostly does singing material. Okay. He's at the piano and he sings parodies and, Mark Russell kind of stuff, only less PBS and more funny.
Right. Well,
I think he's got a case.
Well, it's several cases. It's all these individual cases of it's kind of like it's not a class suit, obviously, because arbitration.
I think it was 75 people at the time that we started. I don't know how many it's gotten up to.
Many more, I think. Many more. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, that was such a way for people to make money in podcasting that And it irks me. It irks me. How hard is it to just do it yourself? I was talking to Eric the Shield the other day. How this show comes together is kind of like how a Toyota Prius is put together. Just in time at the last minute, all of this stuff comes through PayPal, checks, cash in envelopes, clips, donation notes, information, background, links. It all comes together, and it's all squished into one ball and comes out, and then there's a show that we all kind of put together. But for it to be so hard for people to take that final step, and maybe it's an embarrassment or it's something weird about it, people just not being able to say, hey, could you send me some money? Here's how you do it, and I'll keep track of it. No, instead they gave up, 7 to 8%?
I don't know what the percentage, what the VIG was.
Yeah.
But they also gave up control.
Yes.
I mean, we have control of our data. Somebody else isn't doing it. I mean, I can download. I mean, yeah, PayPal has the data of all the people that sent money there, but they collect the information I asked them to collect. They get the address of the person and the email address and all the things I need.
Mm-hmm.
And then they send us the money, and I can always download it changes because new people come on board, and so you can just get the information from them. They're very neutral.
Yep.
I mean, it's
baffling. It's baffling.
And we've also, I will mention this, I'm not going to say who it is, but it's a famous, quasi-famous podcaster.
Yes.
On one of his shows, he finally broke away from some other group that was paying him cash. Here's your $10 for doing the show. Why don't you go? I quit. Okay, so he does his own show, and now he doesn't know how to ask for money. Never asks anybody who does know how to ask. And he says on the air, I wouldn't feel comfortable taking checks.
What is that? What is that?
Why are you not comfortable taking checks? Somebody wants you to do the show, and they're going to give you a check to continue doing the show, but you're not comfortable taking the check? What does that even mean?
It's not comfortable. It's triggering to him.
So he went to Patreon. He used Patreon instead.
Oh, really? And
he'd rather he's taking a check still, but it's from some third party.
Really? So the check goes through Patreon too?
Well, no, I don't know where it happened
just
to the check initially, but
just doesn't take checks.
People donate to Patreon and then they send him a check.
Oh,
and so that's a good check. He likes that check. Well, we were always annoyed by this for some reason. I don't know.
Well,
all the reasons.
Here's the secret. Here's the secret to our success.
Nobody ever asks us what to do.
Yeah, exactly. And we would gladly tell you what to do. Here's the first tip from the No Agenda production team. We take checks.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda in the morning.
Yes, we do. We do take checks. In fact, there's some checks in here that we take checks and balances, by the way.
Yes.
So let's start with our donation segment. Second half, and Cook is at the top, $160. We're taking, well, she wasn't a check. It came in from somewhere. She came in, by the way, from southern Queensland.
Oh, really?
And so it's $1 due.
$1 due. Oh.
She doesn't say, so she has to be bumped up.
I think she is bumped up because 160 would totally be about $8,000 US. So we will, and you're up.
In that case, I have to read her own note. Because she's associate executive at ITM. Today is my 35th birthday, August 6th. May I please get a Trump aroused, Biden whole load, and then some baby making karma. Shout out to my killer consort, Harry Green, who hit me in the mouth when we met. Not to be greedy, but maybe burning down Milwaukee, end of show, if possible, would make our day. Adam. Brought to tears we laughed so hard last time we heard it. Thanks. I love the show. You guys are the highlight of our week.
Burning down Milwaukee? Was that an end of show thing that I don't know?
Oh, I don't.
We have some great end of show clips for today, but
we'll look for it.
Yeah,
and you'll get it eventually.
So she gets a karma, right? Karma and the aroused whole load.
It was hard to get it aroused, and it is hard to get it aroused, but we got it aroused.
I'm going to give you the whole load today.
You've got karma.
Jonathan Helper's next on the list, $150.62. Oh, by the way, since you put her on the birthday list, I was just looking at those donation notes, and there's one that came in. I didn't forward it to Eric, I don't think, but we need another name on the birthday list.
Okay, you got it for me now. I can add it.
Zach. Let me make sure. No, it's not Zach. It's anonymous. Anonymous Zach.
It's not Zach. It's anonymous. Okay. Yes.
Okay. Anonymous.
How old is anonymous?
Guess. Just take a wild guess. What age?
33.
Yes. Anonymous is 33 years old.
Today?
7th.
Okay. Oh, it's already on there. I see.
Oh, it is. Oh, I must have been forwarded.
Yep,
okay, good.
It's all good.
I did my work.
Yes, you did.
All right. So, Jonathan Halper in Charlotte, I mentioned, once 5062. Georgette and Craig in Torrance, California, $132. And they sent a check and a note, because we take checks. And sometimes when they send notes, I like reading them. Okay, here we go. I've been listening since earlier this year as I traveled through the Northeast for the medical diagnostic sales. Then COVID. Lab testing and... Oh. Sorry, Cheryl.
What are you doing?
It's an old note. I picked up the wrong note. The only reason I'm reading this note is because Menno and Georgette are expats from guess what country?
The Netherlands. Menno. How could it not be?
Living in Southern California. Of course, Adam was a megastar in the Netherlands when I was a kid, until he left for the U.S. 30 years later, I rediscovered him through his appearance on JRE. That brought me to No Agenda.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah, it worked.
At the right time, too, I started listening as the pandemic kicked in. I already had severe misgivings about the M5M reporting, was doing some sleuthing on my own, and No Agenda really helped put things in perspective. More importantly, my wife, smoking hot and all, was a little freaked out about the COVID-19, but I got her to listen to No Agenda with me, and it's gone a long way to keep her sane during the lockdown in this new normal.
Yes.
As a leftist tree hugger, I do not share your enthusiasm for our current president. We just deconstruct the news. But maybe, in fact, I have some anti-Trump clips later. But maybe he is what the country needs right now. We have gotten a lot of value out of the show these last few months, so a donation is in order. I don't know if our donation qualifies for anything, but if yes, Georgette would like to hear it's true, and I need some jobs karma Pelosi, as my gigs are all canceled because of the lockdown. We'll give you the job karma at the end. And
I would just like to say, to add to what you said, we hate the media because the media is dishonest. And they're dishonest in this particular era more to the left of the political spectrum, which is what it's all about, certainly in election years. So we deconstruct what the media does. They were covering up and hiding many scandals and all kinds of hilarious things during the Obama administration. And during the Trump administration, well, I think we've seen what we've seen so far. We just deconstruct the media. And that, I know, sounds like, well, you're Obama haters and Trump lovers. Well, not exactly.
No, we're big Obama fans.
It's certainly of his of the man as what he accomplished, not so much. But that doesn't matter. That's not what we're here for. And yeah, that's it. And it's the same. It's the same with coronavirus and COVID and hydroxychloroquine and vaccines. It's just lies. It's lies for their other overlords, the pharmaceutical industry. Sounds crackpotty, but looks like there's a lot of us because Berlin, London, everyone's coming out and saying the same things. Are we all crackpots? Maybe you're the one on the outside.
All right, onward. John Robinet, $100. He's in parts unknown, according to this. Dame Anonymous of the Colonial Place in Richmond, Virginia. She sent a card, which I'll look at. Greeting from Richmond. Here we quickly erasing and dismantling our history. Thanks to you all for all you do. I know notes aren't usually read for at this level, but I have a question for all the producers out there. Twice in the past few months, I have been cut off during a poll when I say I will vote for Trump.
Did they hang up right away?
Yeah.
Sure.
She said the first time I didn't think much about it, but it happened to my father and again to against some other people that she knows, and she wants to know if anybody out there's had this experience. So the poll calls, Gallup poll, are you going to vote for, I'm voting for Trump. Boom, they just hang up on you. So this is like she's making a claim that it's possible that these polls that are heading for Biden are so bogus that they won't even let you talk to them.
Come on. Like, since people not understand this, here, prediction from the No Agenda Show. I can speak on your behalf. Around September, October, polling is going to get real close. It's going to be so close. We could go either way. Advertise more on our network. Come on. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Ryan Ragle in Encino, California, Ragle, 8008. And then we have, somebody said a very long noting. Look it over, see if it's important, because it's from Anonymous.
It is from Anonymous.
6986.
Yes.
So what's the relationship karma?
Well, this is the Anonymous that turns 33, I guess?
No.
No, this is different Anonymous. Okay.
Different Anonymous. We got a lot of weird donations today, people.
Well, we're going to give this Anonymous a karma.
You've got karma.
Blue. Well,
no, it's not blue. Please note that notes and jingles only kick in above 200. And this note is very long in general.
It's so long it wipes out the spreadsheet for me.
Yeah.
Sir Christopher Kessler in Marshfield, Wisconsin, 5510. Brian.
I'm sorry. Now I see what it is. Oh, don't send us this long stuff. Anonymous. This is the No Agenda cut from the sales of the No Agenda Red Book and the new Curry Dvorak Consulting Group note-taking journal. That's what it is. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Brian Furley in Littleton, Colorado, 5510. Sir John Knight of the St. Patrick Patron Saint of Engineers in Heber Springs, Arkansas, 5510. A lot of 5510s coming up. Jeff Gellinaw in Monroe, Washington, 5510. Chad Farrow, 5510 in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. Eric Mackey in Lawrenceville, Georgia, 5510.
Yes, Eric has, I believe, a title today. This original message was overlooked with the 1984 donation, $19.84. This time,
yes.
Yeah, this time the message is with the donation.
Stop.
Stop.
If you're going to put fancy messages in at the 1984 level, which is below the cutoff of $49.99, the spreadsheet might not even have it on there.
Yeah, it's possible.
So either mail us directly or do something, find some other way to get the note. Don't put it in this. I mean, I'm kind of contradicting what I said earlier about cutting and pasting, but we don't normally go down scrounging around in the
right. So let me read the note now that we have it. This time the message is with the donation and the email is both to John Adam. Accounting is attached to the email. In the morning, gents, thank you for bringing sanity and understanding to a crazy world. We all need it now more than ever. It feels good to finally have achieved knighthood and know I have done a small part to help keep this sanity going. Well, you certainly have. Thank you both for doing what you do. I would like to suggest a new exit strategy. Please don't exit. Although, from the sounds of it, podcasting 2.0 might be just around the corner. It may work out for everyone, and that is so successful. You both decide to keep No Agenda going anyhow. We don't want to stop No Agenda. We just want to exit. I humbly ask to be knighted as Sir E, and I would request some black hookers to be brought back to the round table for the knighting. Wow, that's kind of racist of you. For a jingle, pigs in human clothing, resist we much. I'll fit those in somewhere. I've been enjoying Mo Facts and the other podcast on the No Agenda live stream. For anyone that has not checked them out, I would highly recommend it. Onward to Barony, Eric Mackey from Georgia. Thank you very much, Eric. And we'll give you a karma right here.
You've got karma.
Then we'll see you at the round table in a few minutes.
I think it's funny his name's Eric Mackey.
Yes.
That's Eric the Shill's name.
I know. This is spelled a little differently.
Well, it's totally spelled. Both words are totally alien.
Now you know what you need to get him if you want him to cut the grass.
Yeah, there you go. I want to celebrate for a second. Hold on. Get this can open. Ah. Yeah.
Is that a shandy? Okay.
Last time I did that, it made you want to go to the bathroom. I was just going to see if that was a common effect or just a one-time thing. Todd Evans, 5533 in Westchester, Ohio. The Lord Michael Gates, Baron of the rest of Colorado in Colorado Springs, 5280. Eric Hochul, our buddy in Melrose, Deutschland, 52. Yes. And this time it came through.
Yeah, it did.
Matthew D. in Delaware, Ohio, 5006. Okay. There is an anonymous donation down here that may have been that one. Oh, no, here it is. It's just Matthew D. Brian Mosier in Duncan, Oklahoma, 505.01. Steeler Gromall in
Coropolis.
Pennsylvania. These are all $50 donors. It's not that many. I'm going to name just the names and locations, starting with good old Sir Matthew Januszewski in Chicago, David Beach in San Antonio, Brady Schroeder in Milton, Georgia, James Sherameta in Napanoch. Brother, Napanoch.
Napanoch, Indian name in New York, upstate New York, I think.
I guess so. Mary Huey. Parts unknown. Sir Jason DeLuzio in Chatsford, Pennsylvania. And last but not least, Jeffrey Zinneman in South Euclid, Ohio. And he needs Jobs Karma. We're going to give a lot of people Jobs Karma here at the end.
That's right. Thank you all so much for supporting the best podcast in the universe. You get out of it what you put into it, and we just ask you to put in any value that you've received. That's very different for everybody. For some, it's $5. For some, it's $50. For some, it's a nice, refreshing can of Zima, which you then crush against your forehead. Whatever it is, please consider sending that to us, helping us out for our next show. We'll be here on Sunday. There is a handy URL. We have a jingle so you can remember how to sing it, where to go to.
Dvorak.org/NA.
And yes, Jobs Karma.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
A nice list for today, the 6th of August, 2020. Edward Tatnell says happy birthday to Doreen. She celebrated on August 3rd. M of the Mid-Valley says happy birthday to his dad. Celebrated his birthday yesterday. Ann Cook turns 35 today. Anonymous will turn 33 tomorrow. Tim W. says happy birthday to Lauren, who turns 25 on August 8th. And M of the Mid-Valley also says happy birthday to his oldest human resource, who will be celebrating on August 12th. And finally, Michael Janowski will celebrate his birthday on August 15th. We say happy birthday to everybody here from the best podcast in the universe.
It's your birthday, yeah. Title changes, turn and face the slave. Title changes, don't want to be a douchebag.
One title change today, thanks to his renewed support of the show, up to $1,000 in addition to the knighthood donation. Sir Michael of Calgary and Vegas becomes a baronet today, and we are very, very pleased to see that happening. And of course, his title will be updated on all the peerage maps there where available. And for today, we have we have 3 knights. So if you can
there you go.
Oh, there you go. That's perfect. Up on stage, please, Eric Mackey, Michael Janowski, and and Janosh Moser. Boys, lots of names very similar to each other. Thank you very much for your support of the No Agenda Show in the amount of $1,000 or more. Therefore, you join our illustrious group of knights and dames here at the round table, and I'm very proud to pronounce the case Sir E, Sir Janoski AM, and Sir Moj, Knight of Pan Beyond the White Light. For you, we've got hookers and blow, whatever color hookers you want. Rent boys and Chardonnay. We got warm beer and cold women, chilled Polish potato vodka, fish pie and fellatio, vodka and vanilla, geishas and sake, Rubenesque women and rosé, ginger ale and gerbils, breast milk and pablum. And of course, there's always the mutton and meat if you're looking for that. And please go to noagendanation.com/rings, and Eric the Shill will get that together for you as soon as possible. All you have to do is give your ring size. And please, there's some instructions. Try to do it right, because it's hard when they're the wrong size.
No agenda.
It's not just like a party. It is a party. We have a couple of meetups coming up. We heard a meetup report earlier, and during the first donation segment, here is a report from the Kansas City meetup.
Sir Spencer, Wolf of Kansas City here at the KC meetup at Knuckleheads, and we're going to pass it around.
In the morning, this is Dame DeLorean, and I'm feeling pretty good.
Matt here. In the morning, everybody.
Hello, everybody. It's Kendall.
Thank you for your courage.
Oh my God, listen to that horn!
Keep an eye on noagendameetups.com for future KC meetups.
Now, I like this. This introduces a new element to the meetups. The meetup promo. That was not bad. There should be competition with the meetups. I like that. Was a good beginning of the promo. Length was good. You know, it had a quick little.
What was the time?
37 seconds.
Yeah, 7 seconds too long.
Depends on how many people were there. People like to say thank you, but still, I enjoyed that very much. And noagendameetups.com. It's a meetup. It's free. It's open to all. It's organized by you. It's where you can go hang out with people who listen to the show, who know that just being clumsy, saying stuff, you can put your foot in your mouth. No one's going to be triggered. No one will care. They just love hanging out, talking, chatting, and exchanging ideas. Here's a list for Saturday. We've got the Grants Pass, Oregon meetup at 1 o'clock at the Weekend Beer Company. Also Saturday, August 8th, Kiama Blowhole Safety Check. That is 1 p.m. Aussie Eastern Standard Time. Now, that is in New South Wales, so I guess at the Hungry Monkey Cafe, that will be allowed. It's not in the state of Victoria. 3 Mile Island Evac Zone, meetup number 4 happening on Saturday as well. Pittsburgh, PA at 4 o'clock at the Riverview Park. Toronto, 2 o'clock at the Annex area. At the Annex area. Meet there. And August 9th, this coming Sunday, the West Seattle Burien School from Home Social Planning meetup for parents of middle and high school students for unmuzzled learning. How about this? Stephen and Hannah, I didn't know about this. And this will be in West Seattle. West Seattle Burien, is that how I pronounce it? B-U-R-I-E-N? Burien? Burien. School from Home Social Planning meet. I want a report. I want to know what you guys come up with, what people say. If anyone shows up, that would be very interesting to know. It's noagendameetups.com. Anyone can participate, and if there's not anything near you, go look at the site. You can just start your own. It's great. It's like a party. Everyone's clumsy. We call it No Agenda Meetups. Check out the website.
Sometimes you want to go hang out with all the nights and days. You want to be where you won't be triggered or held to blame. You want to be where everybody feels the same. It's like a party.
Indeed. All right. How are we doing on time?
Well, I got a few things. If you want to take a little in between here, let's listen to Marianne Williamson. You're a big fan of hers.
Are you sure? I think this is an old clip.
It's very old, but I never heard it before.
Oh, because we played it on the show.
You really? Can you find your copy of it?
Yep.
Okay, never mind.
In fact, it was episode 1173.
Okay, never mind.
Okay.
Let's go back to Scott Adams, which I promised this clip.
Yes.
This is Scott Adams just making a claim that the NBA players wouldn't be taking a knee if China didn't like it.
This is a 7-second clip?
Yeah.
Let's example that kneeling was an insult in China. Could the NBA players have all knelt? And I think the answer is no.
That's a very good point. He's doing mind-bending stuff, that's Scott Adams. Don't confuse us with your logic.
Now, I have a couple of clips, crazy Trump clips.
I was just going to say about the basketball or any sport. Apparently, if you've had COVID and you're still testing positive, it's okay to play professional sports.
How does that work?
I'm just telling you what it's of course it's nuts. But yes, that apparently is okay.
This whole thing is really the unintended consequence of the whole thing is this of sports, both professional and amateur. And you're getting kind of scandals are already start cropping up. Colorado State, for example, apparently the coaches told the players that if you got sniffles or any COVID, anything, no, shut up about it.
Here it is. Wall Street Journal. Can you test positive for coronavirus and be at work? Sports leagues say yes. While the scientific community is still trying to fully understand who is still infectious, the NFL and MLB say it's safe for players to return, even while they're still testing positive.
Yeah. This is a disaster.
Yeah, of course it is.
It's a huge disaster, and they kind of deserve it. So here's Trump. I got two Trump clips. Well, let's play the current one. This was I missed this somehow during the July 4th when he gave his little canned speech. Somebody wrote this for him. He read it off the prompter. And here's how it goes. This is Trump on America.
Together we will fight for the American dream, and we will defend, protect, and preserve American way of life, which began in 1492 when Columbus discovered America.
No, it's 1619. He's got it all wrong.
No, he took it back to Columbus.
I know. Okay.
Even the 1619 thing is bogus. But okay.
The 1619 thing is super, super bogus and should be taken out of the curriculum or not taught as the facts. Do you know that New York wants to stop history lessons? Until we have it all figured out.
Why does that not surprise me?
Oh, yeah.
Until we get our history correct?
Yeah. De Blasio, let me see, I have it here somewhere. Oh, I'm sorry, Chicago. Chicago area leaders
even worse.
Call for Illinois to abolish history classes.
You got it. I didn't get that.
Yeah, it's an NBC story. Leaders in education, politics, and other areas gathered in suburban Evanston Sunday to ask that the Illinois State Board of Education change the history curriculum at schools statewide and temporarily halt instruction until an alternative is decided upon. Which history do we believe in? That's actually something that frightens me a little bit. When that kind of stuff is going on, and of course curriculum can be adjusted all the time, but this seems like, oh, no. This is all wrong.
They're out of control.
You got whitey history here. That's no good. And there is definitely another side to history taught in schools, but a replacement or stopping it? No. So that's why Trump's going back to 1492. And soon it'll be when the earth was created. America started.
1492. That takes us back.
I like it.
Okay, now here he is in 2008, just the same old Trump. But in this case, he was on one of the shows, and he's, of all things, boosting Hillary.
Well, I think her history is far from being over. I'd like to answer that question in another 15 years from now. I think she's going to go down, at a minimum, as a great senator. I think she is a great wife to a president. And I think Bill Clinton was a great president. You look at the country then. The economy was doing great. Look at what happened during the Clinton years. I mean, we had no war. The economy was doing great. Everybody was happy. A lot of people hated him because they were jealous as hell. You know, people get jealous and they hate you. People don't like him because they're jealous of him. But Bill Clinton was a great president. I mean, I hope we can be so lucky in terms of the economy and in terms of other aspects. I mean, we weren't in wars with two nations. I'm not blaming Afghanistan, by the way, is probably a place that we should be. Iraq, we shouldn't be. Bill Clinton was a great president. Hillary Clinton is a great woman and a good woman.
You said of Hillary Clinton that she was, quote, pretty badly abused during her presidential campaign. Why do you say that?
I thought that they roughed her up pretty good. I think she's a wonderful woman. I think that she's a little bit misunderstood.
Was that 2008? Are you sure that was 2008?
Yes, that was right after she had lost. Obama had taken over the place.
Oh, right.
And he's lamenting Hillary.
So, yeah, this is what he does. He'll do whatever it takes. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. I have a little entremont. Just stick it in.
He was sincere, probably at the time.
No, I don't believe he's sincere about anything he says. He does whatever it takes
to say that, but I think he sounds sincere.
Yeah, of course he does. Whatever he needs to get done, he'll sound sincere about it. Don't wear a mask, it's nuts. Mask is okay, it's patriotic. Come on, man. Justin Trudeau, hello, Scandinavian producers. Where are you all with keeping us up to speed on what's going on with Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Scandinavia, and the We Charity scandal? This is fantastic. Apparently, the Canadian government was about ready to give, I think, $500 or $800 million to this charity, the We Charity, W-E. And the We Charity, I guess, does lots of great work. The problem is that his wife, his mother, some other siblings are all connected to the We Charity. They do speaking engagements. And these speaking engagements, as you can imagine, go for a pretty penny, $10, $20, $30, $50, $250,000 for his mom.
For what? What?
For speaking, for expenses and speaking engagements. But of course, with his wife, that's a real problem. And it's been out in it's not like crazy amounts of money. I think it's probably about $300,000 that we know of. But he should have recused himself in the conversation about giving this nonprofit hundreds of millions of taxpayer money. And so they have an ethics committee. I think it's at the ethics committee. It's a special governmental panel, and they're doing it on Zoom. And this is Member of Parliament Poilievre, Pollivre, Poilievre. And this is just 2 minutes of 10 minutes, which is hilarious.
My concern around recusing myself was a question around perceptions, because I knew full well that this Canada Summer Students Grant Program was not going to directly benefit my mother or my brother.
Your 16 seconds.
Now, the guy you hear, that's the speaker, and so he's trying to keep track of time. This is on a Zoom call or WebEx or whatever it is, so the delays are horrible. And he's telling the Prime Minister that it's time to shut up. Your 16 seconds is over.
Your 16 seconds are up. I'm going to ask you again, because nobody believes you when you say you don't know how much money your family has got from the We Group. So you've had a month to look into that. You knew you were going to testify here. Again, how much money total have your brother, mother, and spouse received from this organization? How much?
That information has been publicly shared, but I will highlight.
Well, then tell me what it is.
My mother
How much?
has
just the dollar figure
throughout her life.
The dollar figure, Prime Minister.
Various ways, and is
how much
of the work that she's done, and I'm proud of her.
How much? I'm looking for a dollar figure.
We can get that number for you if you like. It's been out in the media.
It's been in the media, but you don't know it?
I don't have it in front of me. And
you don't know how much your family has received from this organization, which you tried to give $500 million, really?
Can I answer, Mr. Poilievre?
I'm waiting. You haven't done an answer so far. Let's make this the first one.
My mother has worked as an advocate,
the dollar figure prime minister,
speaker for many good organizations across the country.
Mr. Prime Minister, you are being asked a direct question at a parliamentary committee.
Support her because she does her own work, and I'm proud of the work that she does. But I do not feel that it is my responsibility to peer into the work my mother is doing, because I have
point of order to suspend.
She's doing.
Point of order to suspend.
I've learned that the chairperson's power has gone out and is no longer part of this meeting.
So then, coincidentally, the chairperson who's managing the whole thing, his power goes out and it's all interrupted. And it goes on, and Trudeau he's completely under the gun. And it looks really bad. Now, maybe I'm just seeing it from the outside, thinking it's a big deal. Well, he's
been under the gun a couple of times with some other scandals.
Yeah, he has.
And he sneaks right out of them. I mean, the Liberal Party in Canada really runs the show. They apparently run the power company, too.
I did want to make mention of the George Floyd body cam footage, which was published by the Daily Mail, which was leaked out. You won't see or hear much about it in the United States.
No, you're never going to see it. It's not going to make a difference.
No, I just wanted to point out that the term excited delirium will come up. As we said on day one, there's a lot more to this. Find it, look at it yourself. It will come up. It will come up, I'm afraid, right around election time. And I'm sure that this will be coordinated by Keith Ellison in Minnesota. And they'll have cops walking free. And it'll be more hassle and riots and pain and idiocy. Don't you think that's likely to happen?
We already predicted this.
Well, there you go. Re-predicted.
We predicted it very early on.
Yeah. And I'd also like to do a quick noodle gun rundown when you're ready. But if you got
do a noodle gun thing because it's getting out of control.
Okay, first let's get the noodle gun ready. There we go. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. That is your noodle gun. I don't know what China has to do with it, but somehow noodle gun does. Ellen DeGeneres. This is grab the popcorn. This is really big. She is going down. And they're now touting series all-time low ratings amidst reports of toxic work environment. We already discussed what that means in television on the previous episode. But I don't think she'll make it. I don't think the show will make it through this. In fact, she may walk away. She may walk away before they get rid of her. This is really not good. And it started, it started with I think when she sat next to Bush. Wouldn't you say that's
yes? A lot of people believe that was the beginning of the noodle concept.
Of the gun. Yeah, so little noodle gun for her. Kindergarten cop under heavy criticism for romancing over policing. And at public radio, WMAU in Washington, D.C., the station's general manager is being called to resign over toxic work environment, inappropriate behavior, racist, etc., white culture, you name it. But my favorite has got to be the top curator of the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art. Did you hear that he resigned?
I missed this somehow.
So the senior curator...
by the way, it's a fine museum.
It's a very good museum. The senior curator resigned amidst anger. Actually, there's a little transcript here of exactly what happened. So they had I guess it was a staff meeting or maybe a meeting about, with the upper management. And I guess what came up is, I'm trying to find it here. That's why I'm guessing a lot. Here we go. There was a question about the collection of artists. And he said in this meeting, well, I understand diversity is important. We put a lot of focus on collecting women, black artists, First Nation, Native, LGBTQ, Latino, and so on. And he added, I'm certainly not a believer in any kind of discrimination, and there are many white artists, many men who are making wonderful, wonderful work. When a staff member suggested that his comment was equivalent to saying all lives matter.
Always a mistake.
But he didn't say that. He said,
you can't be near it.
But he said, we've put a lot of focus collecting women, black artists, First Nation, Native, LGBTQ, Latino, and there are also many white artists, many men who are making wonderful work. That is now the same as all lives matter. To which he responded, and here's the problem. He said, I'm sorry, I don't agree. I think reverse discrimination.
Ah!
Yeah.
No.
What he said after that was drowned out by the gasps of someone even saying, he didn't say that. Well, 5 days later, he resigned.
Yeah, they're eating their own.
Big-ass noodle gun for you. And those are the main noodle gun topics to look out for. And I guess on Sunday I'll have a little more Black Lives Matter. I've got a little more in-depth stuff. I've got a couple of clips.
I have a couple of things to read before we go.
Yes, please. Let's do this.
Okay, where's the one I just had up? And I had to close it. Here it comes. This is the note from Mohammed Ahmed. And he said, one thing about Lebanon, the International Criminal Court is still investigating the killing of Lebanon's ex-Prime Minister Rafiq al-Harari.
Yes.
It was scheduled to issue its ruling this week against the suspects. Coincidence?
I think not. Could be anything.
Now we have a note from Sir Christopher de Blase, Knight. Oh, shit. Anyways, anonymous, sorry. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank you for playing the clip from Joe Rogan's interview of Abigail Shrier.
Oh, yes, this was a nice note.
Hearing about her book being discussed resonated immediately with our family's current situation. I shared the clip with my wife and immediately purchased the book. Reading it was a huge relief and has given us new hope that we can help our daughter. This has led to some very hard conversations.
Let me just explain for those who didn't hear it. That was about the book is about a not anti-trans or anything like that, but identifies quite well, I believe, that there is a hysteria amongst teenage girls, young girls, who are just like some will get Tourette's and tics altogether. Some can have bulimia or other eating disorders. This everyone going behind their parents to start transitioning is not necessarily a good thing, and she points that out, and it's been she can't get her book talked about anywhere.
Puberty blockers behind your parents' back.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
Because now you're allowed to do all this stuff. And the doctors apparently go along with it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
He continues, this has led to some very hard conversations with progressive-minded members of the family and may end up ostracizing us from my siblings who are of the communism good, orange man bad, rainbows yay mindset.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It has been eye-opening to directly experience the close-minded reaction to the book and its subject matter from my family. One member of my family refused to read the book, directly comparing it to Mein Kampf and calling it mental poison.
Wow.
She even claimed the book used dog whistle language. Regardless of how the story ends for us, No Agenda's ability to even bring up the topic at all has proven more valuable than I can express with mere monetary support. Seriously, thank you for your courage. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm really happy that that put you onto something. Yeah, it's exactly right. If it wasn't for podcasting, you probably wouldn't hear about it. This book is not in the mainstream.
Probably.
No, definitely. Yeah. And with that, we shall leave you with the tease that we have lots more good stuff coming on Sunday. In the meantime, please consider supporting us in our value for value. You heard there's an excellent example. We don't take commercials, so we can't get canceled. That's why we can talk about topics that are not necessarily accepted by all, and we appreciate you supporting us in that work. Dvorak.org/NA. Nick the Rat is coming up on NoAgendaStream.com after this program with the Nano Rats. And we have end of show mixes, a great one from Sir Ducifer. We'll kick it off in a second with that. Tom Starkweather, Jesse Coy Nelson. And coming to you from Opportunity Zone 33 here in the capital of the Drone Star States, the frontier, actually. FEMA Region number 6 and all governmental maps. In the morning, everybody, I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where it's a nice day, and I think I'm going to go for a drive. I'm John C. Dvorak.
We return on Sunday right here on No Agenda. Go check us out, noagendashow.com, our brand new website. And until Sunday, we remain by saying adios, mofos, and such. Work on it.
Well, let's go to the old folks' home and suck their plasma. Suck their plasma. Well, let's go to the old folks' home and suck the plasma. Suck the plasma.
Sounds groovy to me. Get the pus out. Monoclonal antibodies. And that appears to be very promising.
Actually, that's how they developed the vaccine.
Go to the smallpox dead body and scrape open one of those. Get the pus out. And that appears to be very promising.
Yeah, something like that. Well, let's go to the old folks' home and suck the plasma. Suck the plasma. Well, let's go to the old folks' home and suck the plasma. Suck the plasma.
Sounds groovy to me.
Yeah, something like that. Suck the plasma. Suck the plasma.
Sounds groovy to me.
Yeah, something like that. Suck the plasma. Suck the plasma.
And that appears to be very promising.
Suck the plasma. Suck the plasma. Suck the plasma.
Sounds groovy to me.
I'm Joe Biden. Biden. Joe Biden. 150 million people have been killed since 2007 when Bernie voted to exempt the gun manufacturers from liability. Welcome to Kingswood Community Center. Actually, that's the one down I used to work. That's a joke. You know where we were anyway. It's great to be here and back in a place where, My name is Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Play the radio. Make sure the television is, make sure you have the record player on at night. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women you know the thing. No, I haven't taken the test. The question is, what is the appropriate behavior? That's why I put this Build Back Better plan together. I shouldn't say it. I'm going to say something I probably shouldn't say. Anyway, why the hell would I take a test?
Some feel that
2 or 3 people. They figured it out. What do you think, huh? I don't know what the hell he's talking about. No, hey, look. Who said Trump's idea is a good one? I'm so forward-looking. No, here's the deal. And they know the reason why they've been safe from COVID is because of the Latino and black communities have been doing all the hard work. Did you watch that? Look, come on, man. I know you're trying to goad me. And we have a confluence of 3 things that have happened that are going to give us an enormous opportunity. Come on, man. But here's the deal. Well, if you can't figure out the difference between an elephant and a lion, there's a difference. No, hey, look. I am very willing to let the American public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness, and to make a judgment about who I am.
The best podcast in the universe.
Mofo.
Dvorak.org/NA.
Ah, man.
Podcast around the clock. This is the No Agenda Stream.
You are listening to the No Agenda Stream, where freedom lives and censorship comes to get its ass kicked.
Okay, Mr. Grant. Tell them we're ready. Grant did so, and the loudspeaker sounded almost at once. Attention, Proteus. Attention, Proteus. This is the last voice message you will receive until mission is completed. You have 60 minutes objective time. Once miniaturization is complete, the ship's time recorder will give the 60 reading. You are at all times to be aware of that reading, which will be reduced 1 unit at a time each minute. Do not, repeat, do not trust your subjective feelings as to time passage. You must be out of Benish's body before the reading reaches 0. If you are not, you will kill Benish regardless of the success of the surgery. Good luck. The voice stopped, and Grant could find nothing more original with which to encourage his sinking spirits than, "This is it."
This is it. Do-do-do-do-do. This is it. Welcome to the sewers of Brooklyn, New York, everybody. This is Nick the Rat coming to you live from the sewers of Brooklyn, New York. Hold on one second. I always see like one thing last minute. There we go. Bam. We're actually still in the sewers. And this is episode 242. I got a lot to say. I got a lot to say today. It's August 5th, 2020. We're going to be cracking open a beer, Guinness beer right here. Oh, shit. I promised myself I wouldn't do that. But I did it. There we go. Hey, look, it's Cyborg Kiwi. Where's my stories? Yes, Quarkus, we're getting sticky already. Let's see here. Last week, it's a very strange show. I was drinking the Green Dragon, which is like a marijuana alcohol drink, and let me tell you, I was real fucked up. I don't know if anybody knew. I was super paranoid. I thought there was like these things crawling all over me. I might have been acting a little bit strange during the show. I don't remember. It was a fun time. I liked it a lot. It was a fun time. And also it was because I was drinking the Green Dragon because my friend from a long time ago gave it to me. And I needed to drink it because I was moving. There was a process of moving going on. I've moved a couple of sewer tunnels down in the sewer. Like 6 tunnels down. There was an opening, a bigger sewer. Fatter pipe, a big old fat pipe. Quirkus says it was noticeable. I don't know. I think I remember. I don't remember, but I know I was all types of fucked up last week. It was a fun time. This week I'm just going to be drinking regular alcohol. Wait, this is not my Guinness anymore. This is a different drink. Uh-oh. But we're in trouble tonight, people. But the move was also very annoying, I could say that. It's weird when you start packing up boxes and you're like, whoa, I have more stuff in the studio than I thought. And you're like, God damn. Maybe I should throw all this shit away. I don't even want it. But, you know, I got a lot of old sketchbooks and stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to throw this shit away, but I should just fucking get rid of that shit. I don't know. Anyway, what are we even talking about tonight, everybody? Well, I'll let you know in about a couple of seconds. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think that was long enough. We are talking about nano machines tonight. Nanites, nanobots. Nanotechnology, things that are very small things we'll be talking about tonight. Ow. And I think it's kind of appropriate because we were talking about viruses earlier. I don't know why we were talking about viruses. Does anybody have any idea why we might have been talking about that? I have nano wieners. A couple Chads out there might have those. Or simps. Simp penis is very nano-ish. Where is the technology today? Where are we with nanotechnology? I do remember... I'll mention that a little bit later. I'm jumping the gun here. I'm jumping the gun, everybody. But tonight we do have music. We've got news. We've got nanodicology. We got Zindu. Yeah, the news. Zindu is back, everybody. Zindu has come back. The story with Zindu is actually a lot more interesting than I thought. I thought we fired him. But we didn't fire him. He just vanished for a little while. Also, if you're tuning into the video stream, I know this is mainly a podcast, everybody. I am a cartoon rat, but on video, I put a filter on, a human filter, so I kind of look a little human. But I also have this cool, super duper microscope thing. And I could zoom in on stuff, and we could see like really small details and stuff. Like you could see the pores on my rat little hand. It's kind of gross because I'm all sweaty, and you could see the sweat in my pores. Let's see if I could zoom in on that there. If you want to see this on the video, go to. Ew, I'm gonna puke. Like really small things are really gross. It's a very gross thing to get that small and inside of little holes on people. But let's get in there. I had it. There we go. Yeah. Well, let me just do my robe. There you go. See there you look at those. Look at the fibers on there. There's things smaller than we know out there. Like you're like, oh, he's just wearing a robe. But if you look at the robe closer, you could see that there's a weaving. There's little threads that are all coming together to make one thing. One thing. And what makes us what we are? Is it the? Let me put that down over here. Over there. Get that fuck out of here. That's gross. What are we? Are we the little things that make us what we are? Or can we change what we? You want to see it on my cheek? Hold on, let me bend over. Actually, it is pretty gross. I've done this before. Look at that. Look at that hair. It looks like... Ugh. Ew. That is disgusting, everybody. Beard hair on a microscope looks like... Oh. Ugh. 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 Gross. Okay, back to the point here. We have phone calls, we have music, we have a whole bunch of cool stuff tonight. We're going to be sticking that microscope in places we probably shouldn't be sticking it. We got a P.O. Box mail. Got a big package, actually. Can't wait to check that out. Thank you for the big package, whoever sent that. We'll find out. I'll try not to... Yeah, it did look like wild rice. It's gross. Ugh. But, let's just have a fun time tonight, everybody. Let's just do. We gotta cut back. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world today, and it seems like it's never ending. It seems like we're in a time loop, a loop of time that just won't fucking end. It's fucking annoying. Zindu's here. Zindu's gone. Zindu's here. Zindu's gone. I don't know. Where is he here? I think he's here. Okay, whatever. Let's just let's start the show off how we usually started off, with some music, and why not listen to some music by a person we know, Electronic Sense. Now You Are Dead. Oh, that's foreboding. It's not a little scary to start. Nanotechnology, everybody. Nick Rat Radio. Welcome back to Nick the Rat Radio. That was Electronic Senses. Now You Are Dead. I was just magnifying this here dead plant, that dead flower guy. It was crazy looking under the microscope. I'm going to be microscoping a whole bunch of weird things during the show. Why the hell not? So if you have video, it adds a little bit to it. I'd hate to do this to the podcast listeners, though. So I'm just going to say that the dead flower, it looked like there was naked ladies. Vaginas, titties, everything. By the way, you could get this cool microscope that I got. It's on Amazon for $20. Check it out. Sir Spencer saw them titties. We should talk about these here nanobots really quick. What is the actual technology at these days? See, the thing, the nanotechnology, I've heard about it for so long. I'm always like, oh my God, nanotechnology, Nicky technology. Nanotechnology is going to save the world. We're going to inject into our bodies and kill cancer and fix nerve endings and go into the brain and sadly, all we have today so far that I know of, and I think I know why too. I've got this little conspiracy theory here. All we have today is clothing that can't get wet. That's all nanotechnology can do so far. And I think that's because Bill Clinton, yes, you heard me right. Bill Clinton got busted for nutting on a dress. Now, if this dress was coated with nanotechnology, the jizz would have just dripped off. It wouldn't have stained the dress. There wouldn't have been any proof, and he would have got away with it. Yes, Slick Bill was the reason for the current day technology in nanites that we have currently. Or not. Probably not. I don't know. But that's like the coolest thing we have with nanotechnology today. You could shoot ketchup on somebody's shirt and it'll just drip off and won't leave a stain. I don't know how long it lasts either. I don't know if it's like a permanent thing, but it's basically just like, it's like a very smooth layer of atoms on cloth, so nothing could really grasp on. That's the whole point. But we do have a couple. We're getting closer. There's been a lot of breakthroughs in nanotechnology. We'll be talking about what we do have, what we could use it for, where it could go. Would you use it? I don't know. But before we do that, let's go straight to the voicemails. Let's see if we have anything in the voicemail over here. Do we have any? 917-719-5923. You can give me a call and talk to me. I'll open the phone line soon.
Hello, my little furry rodent friend.
Hi.
I was sitting here watching a pretty big vein throb in my foot, thinking how amazing it is.
What?
And also thinking of you.
Oh.
Weird. It's got a bunch of feedback on the phone.
Well, that was sad to say, a worthless phone call right there. If you're going to call me, make sure you leave a message, not just like a curious... Maybe that was a message. Oh, fuck. Maybe it wasn't. Probably wasn't a message. Let's try another voicemail. Maybe we'll have a better voicemail after that voice. That voicemail sucked. Whoever that was, I'm sorry to say, your voicemail sucked, my friend. And am I discouraging people from calling in because I might call them out on their shitty voicemail? Well, yeah. You know, if you're not calling in with professional stuff, then I don't want to hear it. I'm a professional here. I'm doing professional stuff. Damn it. Let's listen to a professional voicemail like this one.
Hey, Nick, it's getting late, bud. Everybody's still hungover from the Atomgasm from last week, and that's why there's lower energy on this show. Because last week everybody was so charged up about your interview with Adam Curry. And Anyway, it was a great show tonight too, bud. Anyway, we'll talk later. Bye.
Last week's show was, I don't know, man, it might have been good. I don't know. I was really, really fucked up last week. I was experiencing deep paranoia from the Green Dragon. I actually was laying in bed that whole night. So if you get really high, like a body high from edibles, you feel every little, like your heart beating. And you notice you're breathing. You notice you're breathing, and you're like, did I stop breathing? I don't know. I might have stopped breathing. Oh my God, did I stop? And then you're like, oh, did my heart just beat? Am I having a heart attack? And then you're like lying in bed and you can't get to sleep because you're fucking flipping out. I was flipping out last week on the show. I don't know if it was. I have to rewatch the video. Maybe I'll watch the video and be like, wow, if the cops ever come after me, I'll do fine. I'll do fine. Are the little spaces, the synapse in the brain, are those atom sized or are they smaller than atoms? I think they're at least atom sized thick. It's funny, we were talking about Adam Curry, now we're talking about atoms. Size of brain synapse. Snaps. The total number of synapses in the human brain is, okay, we don't care about the number of them, but how big is a synapse? That's what I want to say. So far in the book, we have mainly focused on the size of individual cells and the molecule, blah, 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 blah. Wow, this is a whole article. I don't care about all this. I just want to see if we could fit a nanobot in a synapse in a brain. Smaller? Sir Bemrose is saying it's smaller than atom size. Are you making a joke about Adam Curry? What does the sewer smell like right now? Because I just took a huge... oh boy. This actually... Hold on one second here. Oh, okay. I thought a dude named Ben was still in an open hole. If he actually has information about synapses, hop on in. Let me know. All right, this is what we're going to do here. We're going to welcome back our friend, Old Zindu. Good old Zindu, we're going to welcome him back. We're going to listen to that, and then we're going to play some more music, and then we're going to come back with more stuff. Stuff, good stuff. And then we'll open the phone lines soon. We're going to open the phone lines. You know what? While we're listening to Zindu, I want you to think about if you could get nanotechnology shot into your body. If you could have robots going around in your body, would you do it? If these things would extend your lifespan, but you might have lost some of your humanity, would you take that dive? And would you even lose your humanity if you had these robots in you? What do you think? I'm curious about what you think. Because I know what I think. Because I thought it already. And it's no fun to talk to yourself unless, actually, Zindu.
Everybody, it's me, Zindu. I'm back. You might be wondering where I was. Well, I was trying to get a job on the Ellen DeGeneres show because I heard it's a fucking party town over there. There was a lot of good fun stuff happening on that show. There was the sexual allegations with people trying to grab junks, and it's weird though because everybody's like dumping on Ellen, but apparently it wasn't Ellen at all. I don't even really know the whole story. I was trying to find information on this because I was like, wow, if I'm going to get sexually abused by a rich famous lady that kind of looks like a toe, then yeah, sure, why not? I'm down for it. So I was trying to get a job over there for the past few weeks, and they turned me down because they called me an alien freak. So maybe these stories are right, but Ellen didn't call me an alien freak. It was somebody in their hiring department And I don't even think that hiring department even had anything to do with Ellen. I was in the back alley of Las Vegas. It was basically all right. I gave hand jobs to homeless people in Vegas for a while. Okay, everybody, if you're really wondering. Yeah, but this whole Ellen story it's really confusing. That everybody's just dumping on her. She's whatever. She's whatever. She's rich. She's goddamn rich, and producers and people don't give a fuck about people. And if you're working for a big old time producer and they don't treat you like you're a little fucking snowflake, perfect piece of property, then I'm sorry. That's all I can say. I'm just sorry for you that this is what you think that should be going on. Like you should be. Oh man, I went to work for this rich person on a TV show that's worth hundreds of $1 million a year, and they said something. They said something to me that didn't sit right with me. And now I'm seeing other people coming out and say that. Somebody said something that didn't sit right with them, so that means that I'm going to come out. I'm going to fucking start blasting her on the internet too. I'm going to say Ellen's a fucking mean old witch. It's funny because I thought Ellen killed somebody from all the stories that I read, and apparently that's not what happened. It was just a couple. I still have no idea what the fuck's happening. I have no idea. I try to do research for this story. Because Nick the Rat won't take me back because I had to give some hand jobs out and oh Nick, come on man, I'll give you a hand job. Just take me back on the show, please. Oh wait, this is on the show, isn't it?
Yes.
Nick took me back, and I didn't even have to fucking jerk him off. Oh man, you're so much cooler than Ellen DeGeneres, Nick. I'm gonna tell all my friends to get jobs with you and your production company in the sewer with the Dark Sewer Scientist and fuck Ellen. Yeah, fuck her. She's an evil bitch, and I heard she hates kids and kittens and puppies. I heard that's just make believe. I haven't heard shit actually. I don't know what's real. I don't know what's not real. But she's a big target, and why not just take shots? Cheap, easy shots, baby. That's what I'm all about. Anyway, this is Zindu coming to you for the Dark Sewer News Network. I'm back, baby. Ha ha. And boy, oh boy, are my hands sticky.
So I'm starting to feel bad that we let him back in the building. The sewer building. Somebody's saying that Chuck Palahniuk, the Fight Club writer, wrote a book about some dude that invented nanobots to control women's orgasms. Would you want robots in your body if you could press a button and just jizz in your pants? That's the female voice in my head. This is awesome. Female voice in my head. Why would you not want to have robots making you orgasm? Well, female voice in my head. What about the robots outside of your pants? I mean, outside your skin. Like there's things that just vibrate, and those things are robots too. And I think the nanobots inside, you could turn them on and off. Hopefully. The flick of the finger. I'm about to play a voicemail with the flick of my finger right now. Let's see what we got here. We got 917-719-592.
Hello, Mr. Nick the Rat. I just wanted to let you know that your show really hit the spot.
Well, that worked pretty well. 917-719-5923. Yeah? Wait, what's that? Tell him to stop playing Borderlands. Is he playing Borderlands 3 at least? Come on, you gotta work your nerddom up. But Borderlands is cool. It was a decent game. Borderlands 3 was a little bit of a letdown, I heard. I don't know, maybe the pre-sequel. Wait, did Quirkus, did you not hear the last voicemail that I played about anything? I know there was the hold on one second. I don't know what people are hearing. Did you? Well, I didn't play that whole voicemail. I'm gonna. Yeah. Okay. So. Okay. Let's play that. Let's play the rest of the voicemail. Let's see what we got here over here.
I really wish I could talk to you right now.
Oh.
The real Nick. I'm seeing something in the skies. It's daylight, and it's really magnificently strange and scary and confounding, really. And before I could take a picture of it, it changed. I really don't care how this sounds to people. I just know what I see with my human eyes. There's no normal shaped clouds in the sky anymore. It's extremely rare, to be honest, and I look up there, and during the nighttime, during the daytime, and it's just, can it really all be because of chemtrails? Or maybe some of it's because there's so much that we can't detect with our limited scope of perception. I mean, we're just humans. We can't even see what thousands of species can see. There's animals that can detect or see ultraviolet light, that can see heat, a thermal sensitivity. So why do we think we're so fucking superior? It's so stupid. We're just egomaniacs. But thankfully, you're one of the people I can talk to that understands that it goes so much farther and deeper than we could ever fathom. That we couldn't possibly be superior. Oh my God, look what we do to each other. Look how we treat each other, our own planet that gives us life. Species that we've killed off, that we need. Anyway, I saw there's these really fucked up clouds in the sky. They don't even look like clouds anymore. One of them was this gigantic
Caller? Oh man. She might have got sucked up into the cloud. Yeah, humans do have that whole issue about being superior. They're like, oh yeah, we're fucking great things. And I think they could do so much too. Like, oh, we could change the weather systems. We could put. Actually, that's something else I heard about. Nano dust. They were thinking about sprinkling like little microchips in like Afghanistan when we were doing like Operation Desert Storm and shit. So the smoke and the clouds would go into the caves and they would see everything. But all we have is clothes that could reject ketchup so far. I know nanotechnology, it's still a budding technology, and it's not there yet, maybe another 10, 20 years. But so far, all we have is ketchup repellent. I wonder if there's nanotechnology for condoms or like sex stuff? Bill Clinton? Okay, we'll play another song now, and then we're going to come back and we're going to thank some people. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about nanotechnology. We have Miskin robots, helical robots, swarm vortex. We got DNA, synthetic nanospores, cyborg organoids. We got nanowalkers, xenobots. We got a whole bunch of stuff we're going to talk about. Bioterrorism. You tuned in tonight. You got lucky that you're actually listening tonight. That's all I could really say, because boy, oh boy, we're gonna get to that peach pit. Wow, were we talking about fucking Cloverfield last week? What the fuck were we even talking? Anyway, let's play another musical interlude. Purple Cat with Infinite.
Get your mind out of the gutter and into the sewer. You're listening to Nick the Rat.
That was Purple Cat with Infinite. All this music you can find on SoundCloud /NickTheRat/likes. You go to nicktherat.com and find it there too. So if you're looking for anything from the show, just go to nicktherat.com or nicktheratradio.com, and I'm sure you can find it there. All your questions will be answered. I should probably go to the mailbag now. Actually, you know what? We're going to thank some people. We're going to thank whoever donated, and then we're going to look at the mailbag. Pardon me. Okay, here we go. Let's see here. We had some good PayPal donations last week, though. As fucked up as I was, I remember there was a couple of good, really, PayPal donations. I'll post that... My peas are popping like crazy. I will be posting last week's episode soon. I still have to do the artwork for it. It's, when you're moving and there's a whole bunch of shit going on and you're all fucked up in the head, it's kind of hard to do stuff. At least I didn't miss the episode, and I still have it. It's in the wheelhouse. It's in the wheelhouse, everybody. Okay, let's see if anybody donated this week. After last week's episode, probably nobody did. Let's see here. PayPal says promote your shit. Okay, no. PayPal, we couldn't process your payment. We couldn't process your payment. Looks like we got 2 people that might have canceled there. That's fine. If you need your money, save your money. But if you would like to show that you'd like to donate, please donate. Like Mr. JP did. JP did a 420. Thank you so much for the 420, JP. Much appreciated. I try not to dox anybody, so I don't say their name. A lot of people might be like, oh, you're going to say their name. Say they donated, you should say. I don't know if people want me to say their name. But I will say your initials. You want me to say your name, write a note in the thing. Or just send me a letter. Be like, hey, I donated. Can you say my name? And I will say your name, say your name, say your name. I will scream your name. Not as well as Fletcher can from hogstory.net, but I will attempt my best. We have Pierce LLC. PLLC with a 1414 subscription. Now that is a subscription. That's like 1, 2, 3. That's like 3 subscriptions rolled into one. Thank you. We have PayPal saying get paid with PayPal invoicing. PayPal does suck, but what sucks more than PayPal? Patreon. Patreon. A lot of P's. A lot of payment systems have P's in there, and the P's in my plosives are popping on the pop filter. Don't know why. Sorry about that. But there's a Patreon sucks. They kicked somebody off of Patreon recently, some comedian guy, and then after they kicked him off, he was like, "Well, what did I do?" And then they changed the terms of services to reflect why they kicked him off. Patreon is a piece of shit, and PayPal sucks too, but so far it's still probably the best way to do this. So the value for value method is currently stuck in PayPal land. Let's see, we have more donations. We have BS. Thank you so much, BS, with the 420. BS, your name reminds me of somebody that I miss a lot. I wonder if you're that same B. You're probably not the B that I know, but if you're the B that I know, I would love if you gave me more calls, because that B was awesome. And you're probably awesome too. I'm not denying it. We have AN with 420. Wow, we have a lot of new subscribers on the 420 thing. Then we have another cancellation. That's fine. OB has left the building, everybody. OB is overboard. That's understandable. If actually, you know what? Let's all take a second and meditate on OB, because hopefully they're in a good place. I was watching a video about meditation earlier, and years of meditation can be broken down into this one sentence. Just focus on your breathing. And you can do it at any point during the day or anywhere you are. You could do it right now. Okay. We're going to do it right now. We're just going to breathe in and breathe out. And just focus on that. And then you're meditating, because your brain is basically always on. It's always going to say stuff. It's going to be like, blah, blah, blah. You're listening to Nick the Rat. Oh, this guy's voice sucks. His music's okay, but his voice sucks, and he's a little crazy. And he might be drunk right now. Why am I listening to this show? Is it entertaining? I don't know. Am I gaining anything? I don't know. Maybe I am. I don't know. But your brain's going to keep putting out these words, putting out all this garbage. But to stop it, just say, because you can also focus on your heartbeat, I guess, but that's scary. Don't focus. Okay, you know what? Don't focus on your heartbeat. Just focus on your breathing. If you focus on your heartbeat, you might kill yourself. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if you could swallow your tongue. I don't know if you could stop your own heart. And I don't know if you could break your arm by bending it past where it's supposed to go. Some things might be off limit. But just breathe and focus on that. And let's breathe and think about OB. Breathe in, OB. Breathe out, OB. Now let's hope OB is doing fine. I hope everybody's doing good. Life is very hard. Life is amazing. Like,